Number 11, Marta Kostyuk. Number 10, Paula Badosa. Number 9, Barbora Krejcikova. Number 8, Jasmine Paolini. Number 7, Elena Rybakina. Number 6, Danielle Collins. Number 5, Zheng Qinwen. Number 4, Coco Gauff. Number 3, Jessica Pegula. Number 2, Iga Swiatek. And number 1, for the first time in my power rankings history, Aryna Sabalenka.
Ready? Play.
Well, hello there, and welcome to my WTA US Open Power Ranking. I don't know whether people still want this or not, but I'm still doing it. So here we go. And I find it fun trying to see if I can work out if we can put the potential US Open champion of 2024 on some kind of shortlist. Now, I am going to go out on a limb here and say this might be my most controversial power ranking yet. We'll wait and see. Maybe you can tell me in the comments if you remember any of my others, like, no, your one from Australia 2023 was crazier. Actually, I don't think I did one in 2023. Anyway, moving on. You know how the drill. I usually do a list of 10 players I think you need to watch at a Grand Slam, who I think are more likely than the rest of the field to win, or at least are very likely to be seen in the second week, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and progressing towards the final and even the trophy. I do want to do some quick honorable mentions. I'm not going to go into why. I'm just going to give you a montage, as it were. They are Emma Navarro, Leila Fernandez, Diana Schneider, Elina Svitolina, and Donna Vekic. They are players that I think you need to keep an eye on US Open as your kind of, I don't know about dark horses because most of them will be seeded, but players that are probably ripe for causing some kind of upset and giving us some spectacular tennis in New York. With that all being said, let's get into the power ranking, starting with, controversially, number 11. Yes, you heard me, number 11, Marta Kostyuk. And the reason I'm putting Marta Kostyuk on this list is because she's been incredibly consistent sort of post-Wimbledon. In fact, she's been very consistent throughout most of the year, apart from a bit of a blip around about the grass court season. But she's one of the few players who's reached the last 16 or further of the Olympics, Toronto and Cincinnati. With consistency comes confidence. And I think that Marta Kostyuk will be there to pick up on opportunities the draw presents her. I think it's very likely we'll see her in at least the second week and maybe even beyond if things work her way with the rest of the draw. Number 10, Paula Badosa, the Washington, D.C. champion and the Cincinnati semi-finalist. And it does seem that Badosa is starting to look like her old self again, the self that we saw who made world number 2 a couple of years ago. She is still playing through pain. There's a bit of a physical question mark, but I think it's safe to say that Paula Badosa is in form right now and could make waves in New York. Number 9, Barbora Krejcikova. Krejcikova was really hard to place on this list. I felt it would be ridiculous to not include the Wimbledon champion, especially since people who do well at Wimbledon generally kind of follow that up in the US. If you look at sort of Vondrousova, I think she made quarters of the US Open last year. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong, but she did all right the New York last year. You have, what was it? Rybakina didn't do great, but she doesn't do great in the US anyway. And then Ash Barty was hot favourite in 2021. Yeah, generally speaking, with the speed of the courts and the way Krejcikova seems to be building some confidence back up, I put her back in the mix here. The fact she's not played very much since Wimbledon, she's only done the Olympics, she hasn't done a hard court warm-up, it's putting question marks over how in form she is right now, which is why I'm not putting her higher up the list. Number 8, Jasmine Paolini. Can't ignore her. Let's face it, you can't really ignore Paolini after the summer. She's had 2 Grand Slam finals, doubles gold in the Olympics, and picking up some consistent wins throughout the season, to be honest. So she's got a lot going for her right now, and I wouldn't bet against her making something like quarterfinals again in the US. She seems to be comfortable on hard courts as well. Let's see how it goes. Number 7, Elena Rybakina. Yes, you heard me right. One of the top 4, quote unquote, of the WTA is actually not going to be in the top 4 power ranking because, let's face it, Rybakina's progress has stalled a little bit. Wimbledon upset was a bit of a shock. She wasn't one of the Olympics. She missed it. And then she put in a very messy performance against Leylah Fernandez in Cincinnati. None of these unrecoverable from, but when you look at her history in North America and how she seems to have underperformed there, she deserves to be in the power ranking of her potential, of the results she's built up over the course of this sort of last 12 months. We will see whether Elena Rybakina can produce her top end level in New York. That's the big question mark. That's why I can't put her higher than 7. All right, top 6. Danielle Collins, who is mainly here because she's the Miami champion. Similar to Krejcikova, not coming in with a lot of form. She's had an abdominal injury. She's currently playing in Monterrey. We have a lot of question marks about how she's going to do in the US Open. But she's here on the strength of, she's had a very good season. It's going deep at big tournaments very regularly. She lost 16 to Wimbledon, losing to eventual champion. Really, the French Open was a blip in terms of her events that she's entered, kind of Miami onwards, in terms of her going deep in draws. And, she's going to want to make a splash at her last US Open. And she's a Miami champion. And I'm going to be very much favoring people who have won 1,000 events in North America this season in this ranking. So that's why Danielle Collins is number 6. Number 5, Zheng Qinwen, the Olympic champion. High on confidence right now, it's fair to say. Followed up with a last 16 loss in Cincinnati. We don't know how much that loss to Pavlyuchenkova was affected by potentially any fatigue or whatnot, but we know Zheng likes the US. She's a quarterfinalist here last year. She kind of got that important win over Swiatek in the Olympics. Let's see how she is in the US. Maybe she's going to play really free and really confident. If she is, she's going to be super dangerous. And I would not be surprised to see her in the US Open semi-finals. So Zheng Qinwen, number 5. Number 4 is Coco Gauff. Now, I flipped Gauff around this list quite a fair bit. She ended up in like the 3 to 6 range, and she was the one I wasn't entirely sure where to place. Because although she is the defending champion, it's fair to say that her form is starting to stutter a bit after Roland Garros. Wimbledon, last 16 exit to Emma Navarro, defeat to Diana Schneider, lost to Donna Vekic in the last 16 of the Olympics. Obviously, Cincinnati ended up being a little bit of a disappointment for her as well when she lost to Yulia Putintseva in the opening round. Now, I will caveat this with saying that none of these are bad losses in terms of the players, but it does highlight that she's potentially more vulnerable than not. But when I'm looking at sort of the boxes that potential US Open champions need to tick, she still ticks a lot of them. And so for that reason, we have to take her seriously as a contender. Now, no one's successfully defended the US Open since Serena Williams 10 years ago. Let's see if Coco Gauff can do that, but she's certainly going to have the crowd behind her. That's going to help her a lot. She is a big-time player. And obviously, she's got that experience of winning a slam before, whereas Zheng and Collins don't, which is why I put her above. However, I couldn't put her above the number 3 player on my list, Jessica Pegula, who arguably is one of the 3 players with the most momentum going into the US Open. Champion in Toronto, finalist in Cincinnati, and whilst she didn't look like beating Sabalenka in that final, she held her own pretty well. She wasn't demolished. Even if Sabalenka hadn't got nervous closing that match out, Pegula still would have lost by only a single break in both sets. Pegula was serving out most of her service games pretty well. Sabalenka just did a very good job of taking her chances in the end. So I think that's kind of where Pegula's at, where I'm feeling pretty confident that she's going to make a deep run in the US. The question then happens is, what is she going to do when she runs into the other 2 kind of big name players in Flushing Meadows? How is she going to cope? Because at the minute, I think she's only losing to a top player in form or someone else having the 2 weeks of their life, which could happen in the WTA. But right now, Jessica Pegula has a lot of momentum behind her, far more than pretty much anyone else on the list we've had so far. And so she has to be number 3. Number 2, Iga Świątek, former US Open champion 2 years ago. There is a precedent for people defending US Open titles from 2 years before. Naomi Osaka did that in 2020. And as a former out of the former champions in the field, if it's going to be a former champion kind of lifting the US Open trophy again, she's probably the most likely one out of all the ones who are going to be playing. The others being Coco Gauff, Sloane Stephens, Emma Raducanu, Naomi Osaka herself, Bianca Andreescu. Now, that's not the only thing there's to be. Like, a lot's been said about Świątek on slow courts, but she's still on fast courts, but she still made the Cincinnati semifinals. Very similar way that she won the US Open. She is the world number 1 for a reason. Is she going to be more vulnerable here? Yes. Is she going to be the favorite in pretty much every match she has? Yes, frankly. And so don't count Świątek out at all. I think she's going to be more likely than almost anyone else to be a factor. And she's going to pick up plenty of wins in Flushing Meadows. But let's face it, there's an overwhelming number 1 choice right now. My number 1 going into the US Open, and probably everyone else's number 1 pick for the title, is Aryna Sabalenka, who is the Cincinnati champion. So she could be doing another Cincinnati US Open double. It does seem to be that in recent years, Cincinnati seems to be the event that is better forecasting US Open form. You have Gauff winning last year, winning the double, Garcia getting to the semi-finals in 2022 and maybe just getting upset by a bad matchup in Ons Jabeur in the semi-finals. Year before that would have been Ash Barty. It was a weird year in 2021. So there's precedent here that Cincinnati's going to help. But even if it wasn't, did you see how dominant Sabalenka was? How confident she's playing on these courts? She's a US Open finalist from last year. She's been slowly progressing her way to the final over the years. Again, semi-finals in 21, lost in 3. Semi-finals in 2022, lost from a break up in the decider to Świątek. 2023, lost from a setup to Coco Gauff. I think Aryna Sabalenka is edging her way towards an eventual US Open title and closing the gap to Iga Świątek in the rankings. We'll have to see. Sabalenka's also got the benefit of being the player who is the most consistent at slams. I mean, if she only played at slams, it would she'd probably still be similarly ranked. She's probably out of the field the most trusted to get to at least the semi-finals. So with that being said, yeah, you have to go with Aryna Sabalenka as the number one favorite going into New York. So, recap to finish off. Number 11, Marta Kostyuk. Number 10, Paula Badosa. Number 9, Barbora Krejcikova. Number 8, Jasmine Paolini. Number 7, Elena Rybakina. Number 6, Danielle Collins. Number 5, Zheng Qinwen. Number 4, Coco Gauff. Number 3, Jessica Pegula. Number 2, Iga Świątek. And number 1, for the first time in my power rankings history, Aryna Sabalenka. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment. Am I being controversial with some of my picks here? Maybe not the top one, but the order of everyone else, maybe? What do you think of me including Kostyuk? What do you think of me ranking Rybakina so low? Is Gauff too high? Drop us a comment, let us know. I'd love to sort of see your thoughts about this. Come join us as we build up for the US Open. There'll be draw reactions. There'll be ATP and WTA weekly shows previewing and going through all the draw, and then the US Open proper starts. And we will get to see a little bit more of tennis history made. And I'm looking forward to sharing all of that with you. But in the meantime, take care and keep talking tennis.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. I'm here to present my power rankings on the men's singles side for the upcoming US Open 2024. To give you a clue into a little bit about my workings before I present this rundown, I tend to go to just basically the world rankings, okay? And I look at the list of players and I look at the obvious ones and the slightly less obvious ones, the maybes and the has-beens and the could-bees and the should-bees. And then I whittle it down to the final 10, which I will begin with almost immediately, but I'm going to mention some players that are here in these world rankings that are not in the top 10, and I'm going to explain why. So we can already see, I can see 4 players here in this little group here, all ranked inside the top 10, but none of which make my power rankings. Hubert Hurkacz barely played since Wimbledon, and when he did, he was limping around the court. Not enough recent performances to suggest that he should be in the power rankings, and also he's never been super deep at the US Open in the past. Casper Ruud, similarly, some injuries or certainly illness issues with him of late. And again, his pedigree in New York since making the final in 2022, or his run last year cut short by Zheng, suggests that, again, lots of doubts surrounding the Norwegian, and therefore he doesn't make the cut either. Alex de Minaur, similar health issues, again, barely played since Wimbledon. I think he played the doubles at the Olympics and that's it. So he's on the comeback trail. Fingers crossed he can stay healthy for the rest of the year, but he doesn't quite make my top 10. Grigor Dimitrov was probably the closest amongst all of these players to make it into the top 10 of my power rankings. But again, Grand Slam finals, semi-finals has been a bit of a thing of the past for Grigor, despite a pretty good 2023 on the whole. Stefanos Tsitsipas also doesn't make my top 10. Just form for Stefanos. And of course, we know the chaos in terms of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Other players that didn't make it: Felix Auger-Aliassime, Lorenzo Musetti, despite some good form from him recently as well, also didn't make the cut. And nor perhaps controversially did Holger Rune again. Just not got the form despite that semi-final run. Don't forget, he didn't really play any top players in that semi-final run in Cincinnati. And as soon as he did, he ran into Francis Tiafoe, who just edged him out of that semi-final. So, who does make my top 10? Well, coming in at number 10 is Andrei Rublev. Andrei, again, some question marks, but he did make the final in Canada. He has had deep runs before in New York. He has got the quarterfinal pedigree that we know about. And if he makes the quarterfinals, then he would justify his inclusion in my top 10. Number 9, Tommy Paul. Tommy Paul has got the pedigree in New York, got knocked out by Ben Shelton, I think it was last year, has made a hard court semi-final not too long ago in Australia in 2023, where, of course, he lost in straight sets to Novak Djokovic. I think he's improved slightly as a player since then, and as a result, he makes my number 9. Number 8, the aforementioned Francis Tiafoe, edging out Holger Rune recently. Didn't quite do himself justice in that Cincinnati final, I don't think. Just recently, a couple of weeks ago against Jannik Sinner, where he lost in straight sets. Was very tight in that first set, but in the end, Jannik found the whatever was required to basically pull away from Francis. But I still think Francis is due a good tournament. I think the Wimbledon result he had against Carlos, where he was up 2-1 against Alcaraz at this year's Wimbledon tournament, and I think that was a nice turning point for him. It was a loss, a 5-set loss, just like he had it to Carlos in 2022 when Carlos went on to win the tournament. And if he's going to have a mega deep run again at a slam, says to me, it's going to be in New York. Okay, next on my list at number 8 is Ben Shelton. Or I should say number 7, actually, on my list is Ben Shelton. Ben Shelton, last year's semi-finalist. Yes, he hasn't had the most consistent of 2024s, but I think he has the game to deliver once more. And he has got some Grand Slam pedigree, having also gone deep in Australia. Okay, next on my list is number 6. Next on my list is number 6, Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz, by the way. Need to say something about him because this time last year, I think he had a pretty bad loss to Novak Djokovic, where he just didn't seem to be able to offer anything different to what he'd done before in their encounters. However, he then played him in Australia, and I think I saw some improvements. And I've been thinking about that match pretty much all year long as I'm waiting for Taylor to really, really have a really good Grand Slam run. And I think it's going to come in New York. He's got a difficult first round, but this power ranking, by the way, a difficult first round against Matteo Berrettini. This power ranking is draw independent. So we just ignore the draw and I continue on where I get to my number 5, which is a pretty easy pick actually for me. Daniel Medvedev. He's kind of in this no man's land right now where he's got the track record. He's got the pedigree. He's the hard court specialist, but hasn't won a title since Rome of last year. Obviously, he got to the final in New York a year ago, and he's also won this tournament in 2021. So there's plenty of pedigree there. But actually, recency bias is the reason why he doesn't make the top 4, because there are some doubts about his form, as I say, having not won a title since 2023. And obviously, he made the finals this year in Indian Wells. He got to the semi-final. He also made the final, of course, in Miami as well, back-to-back. So it's still there or thereabouts. But when he's coming up against the absolute top players in the world, he does tend to lose. Also, his form in Cincinnati in Canada was scratchy. So he is at number 5 on my list. Number 4, no surprises, probably Alexander Zverev. Doesn't quite crack the top 3 for reasons that I'll get into shortly. But Zverev this year has taken on, in my opinion, another step forward, where he's now pretty reliable. Okay, he lost to Sebi Korda recently, but in terms of the slams, if we think about it this year, he was in the semi-final in Australia. He was in the final of the French Open, and only injury, I think, really cut short his Wimbledon run. So he's pretty reliable these days, especially in Grand Slams and over 5 sets. And for me, he has the game. He could even be lifting the title in a couple of weeks from now. There may still be just 1 or 2 mental hurdles for him to overcome, though, if he is to achieve that goal. Number 3 on my list. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Novak Djokovic, the 24-time Grand Slam winner, yes, and multiple US Open winner, including last year's event when he beat Daniel Medvedev in straight sets, comes in at number 3. It's a paper-thin difference between the top 3 players in the world right now. But I've gone for Novak at number 3. Why? His 2024 form Olympics aside, Wimbledon final, you could argue, was, by his very high standards, no great shakes. Losing early in Indian Wells, losing in the semi-final, was it to Casper Ruud in Monte Carlo? Also losing in Geneva, etc., etc. And his run to the Wimbledon final did not impress me much. Shania Twain reference there. Because he didn't really play any top players en route. He had quite a nice draw. He's got a pretty nice draw in New York, but if we think about his year as a whole, the Olympics aside, I think, and even the Olympics, he basically has to win one match to get that gold medal, and he did it, and he did it phenomenally well. But for me, his 2024 form is the reason why he doesn't quite make the top two. And by the way, for many others, he may well make your top two or maybe even your top one. Do get in the comments section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, number 2 on my list, Jannik Sinner. How will he be dealing with the controversy regarding himself at the moment and regarding, obviously, the doping scenario that he had, where he did provide a positive test, albeit he managed to appeal that and show that there was no intent and there was no negligence involved in taking on board the steroid. But how is he going to deal with the whole furore around it? Well, you could argue that he's dealt with it for 6 months, albeit we didn't know about it, pretty impressively. Obviously, in the last 6 months, he has won in Miami, for example. He has got to the quarterfinals at Wimbledon. He has made the semifinals at the French Open, and so on and so forth. Won in Halle as well, among other things. But some question marks. Lost to Andre Rublev recently. How is he over 5 sets? Still seems to struggle at the absolute, depths of it. I know he won a 5-set final against Daniel Medvedev in Australia this year, but Daniel was just completely knackered by the time that final came around, having had so many 5-set matches and lengthy matches en route. So those doubts remain, but he is the first or second best player in the world right now. On hard courts, possibly maybe even more of a clear number 1. So he has to be, for me, in the top 3, and for me in the top 2, actually. But he doesn't quite make number 1 for some of the reasons I just highlighted. And my number 1 pick going into the US Open is Carlos Alcaraz. I know he lost to Monfils in Cincinnati recently, but if we put that just into context here and compare it with the US Open, that was 3 sets. I still fancy Carlos to win those matches over 5. We've seen him go down, like we did to Francis, for example, earlier this year, like we did to Zverev as well in Paris. So over the 5 sets, things can get away from him, but he gets it back. So I've got Carlos Alcaraz at my number 1. I also trust him over 5 sets a lot more than I do Jannik Sinner, for example, and even some of the other players on my list. He's got to be in the top 3. It's then just a case of where you put the first, second, and third. I've gone for the US Open champion from 2022. He's got the pedigree. He loves the hard courts. Comparing it to Cincinnati as well, I will add this. These courts will suit Carlos just a little bit more. I think they are a bit slower, despite some of the comments pre-tournament that they were going to basically have very, very similar court level speeds to Cincinnati. But the conditions in the US Open in New York, a little bit more humid sometimes in New York and a little bit more suited for me for the Carlos style of game, as we saw in Indian Wells, for example, earlier this year. Maybe Indian Wells, Miami is an interesting comparison with Cincinnati and New York. Cincinnati being sort of Miami-like and New York maybe being a little bit more, not quite as gritty and as slow as Indian Wells. But for that reason, I have Carlos Alcaraz at my number 1. Quick refresh on my top 10. Number 10, Andre Rublev. Number 9, Tommy Paul. Number 8, Francis Tiafoe. Number 7, Ben Shelton. Number 6, Taylor Fritz. Number 5, Daniel Medvedev. Number 4, Alexander Zverev. Number 3, Novak Djokovic. Number 2, Jannik Sinner. And number 1, Carlos Alcaraz. Do let me know your thoughts on my power rankings, get in those comments below. And yeah, tell me whether you agree or disagree. Until now, see you soon.
Ready. Play.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. For Nick and I, it is mid to late afternoon. But if you're in New York, it's 11 a.m. How are you, Nick?
I am doing good, John. I am very, very happy this US Open has finally started. I've been waiting for days for us to get underway. And I can't think of many better matches than this one to kick us off.
Yeah, there's a few highlights from today, and I think this has to be up there. I mean, if Anisimova brings it like she did in Canada, for example, then Zheng might have a problem or two.
Yeah, I mean, when I made the power ranking and I put Zheng as 5, I did not. This was obviously just blind pre-draw. And then Anisimova comes in, and she was obviously a contender to get on in the first place. And I was like, oh, great. So you've already got upset alert straight away out the door. And yeah, 2 of the form players from the post-Wimbledon period are clashing in round 1. It's not a good draw for either of them.
No, that's a good point. And sometimes when you're the player as well, I think it's important to remember, because when you're Qinwen Zheng or a Qinwen Zheng fan, for example, you're going, oh, I can't believe I've got Anisimova. But if you're an Anisimova fan, then you're also thinking, I can't believe I've got Qinwen Zheng in the first round. But obviously, Amanda is a wild card, although I believe it's her ranking now must have severely improved after that Canada run.
Yeah, pretty much top 50 now, I think.
Yeah, but too late for a direct entry into this tournament.
Yeah, unfortunately, she needed it to be there around there after Wimbledon. Canada was a bit too late.
I think Ghosty's referencing the color of our tops today.
I mean, look, all the best people wear red.
Yeah,
especially
burgundy, really, or claret. I don't know, something like this, right?
Mine's actually pretty red. It's just you can't tell from the lighting.
Okay, maybe it's the lighting. Maybe it's I've got a bright light and you've got a sort of dim light. 2024 win-loss record 31-13 for Qinwen Zheng. But of course, her year is really all about that Olympic gold medal. I mean, I know you can also look at the Australian Open final run, but that sort of transforms your year from being pretty good to just amazing, right?
Yeah, I think Olympic gold on its own gives you an amazing year anyway. I think with the Australian Open final, it's kind of putting her up there as like one of the leading forces on the WTA tour at the minute. And I think it's going to be a big, I think I'm interested to see how she's going to play the rest of the season, how she's going to take that kind of confidence from finally winning that Olympic medal, especially when we come round to playing in China, of which there are 2 WTA 1000s in play.
I always feel as though, as a fan, I have a slight dip post US Open. That probably, maybe Vienna and Basel sort of bring me back a little bit. The Asian swing, of course, we didn't have for a few years because of COVID and 1 or 2 other issues, of course. So it's now back on the calendar. But the time zone as well is, it's a little different for us, isn't it? It's like the finals are basically sort of 11 a.m. for us, aren't they?
Yeah. Which, if you've got plans for Sunday lunch with your family, don't necessarily work out. But not unless they're tennis fans, of course.
Brazy's got his eye on Bublik versus Jerry Shang. Yeah, that's a good one. Didn't even think about that one. That's today, is it, Brazy? I didn't know.
That's happening right now on court 11. That's a match that I would say that, like, if you're on the US Open grounds, go see. Although, having said that, it doesn't look like the stands are that full. Like, you can get into Louis Armstrong Stadium with a ground pass, and there's plenty of empty seats there if you want to check this one out.
There have been some comments on social media about ticket prices, which seem to be just going up beyond.
I've been reliably informed that the US Open is actually sold out. So any tickets that are available are at a premium.
Yeah, I mean, sold out and sold out. I'm very what's the word, skeptical about this expression in tennis, because the French Open final is sold out 6 months in advance, and then the night before you go on the website and there's tickets available, if you like. Plus sold out as well. The other second part of sold out, which is related to the first part as well, is the corporate nature of it, in terms of there will be 2,000 tickets in this stadium, for example, that are just purely for corporate, and they are sold out. But who knows where those individuals are right now?
Yeah, maybe on their way. But those who are on the stadium are in for a treat, and hopefully you guys are going to enjoy us sort of talking through our take on what's happening as it's happening.
Yeah, I'm just going to share some other live scores. I bet my stream will be slightly behind because I'm relying on Sky Sports. So
well, so am I. But
yeah, Sky Sports Germany. We'll see. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know. German Sky Sports and British Sky Sports are a little different, but
when you said the players are coming onto court, they were about 5 or 10 seconds away. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more than that, though, in terms of the difference between where we're at. Let's see. I've got them practicing serves at the moment, anyway.
Yeah, well, we actually have one match that's now started, which is Alina Svitolina has got underway on court 5 against Maria Karl. And Diana Ostremska is underway against Hule Niemann, and they've played 2 points in that match already.
Well, yeah, in fact, Svitolina's already won the first game.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Svitolina's won the first game. So there you go. That's why.
There you go. So Stop the count. Stop the count.
Svitolina on her way.
Yeah. Any thoughts on this match in terms of predictions?
On paper, you're saying Qinwen.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is that Anisimova is not going down without a fight. So this is probably going 3, I think. And then I think it's going to come down to who's going to hold their nerve. I maybe trust Zheng slightly more. Yeah,
I'm going Zheng in 3 as well. It's sort of just because I'm not 100% convinced about either player in various different ways. But I'm also convinced. I mean, like, as I say, Anisimova, if she brings it, there might not be a lot that Zheng can do. We'll see. But I think we kind of know the level from Zheng. I know that, did she play Canada? No, she didn't play Canada. She probably played Cincinnati.
Cincinnati got last 16.
Yeah.
By the way, Zheng won the first point with a return winner that hit the baseline.
Nice. Good start. I'm about to see that point. But yeah, so maybe I keep saying it. It sounds like I'm putting it on Anisimova's racket. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration against, the 7th seed. And
you say that, but Anisimova is the kind of player who, when she's on, the match is on her racket. It's just how often she's on.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a sort of Ostapenko light. Yeah, I've just seen that return of serve. Lovely. Yeah. It was a second serve, of course, but.
Yeah, I mean, the follow-up, I'm just seeing the 3rd point of the match now, and Anisimova's won that with a backhand cross-court winner. The second point was lost by Zheng, who put a forehand in the net. So both players looking to bring it.
Brazy, I want you to elaborate on what this towelgate issue is. Not enough towel hacks in. Oh, okay. Thanks, Brazy. Matthew, I think Sakkari's draw's not bad. I can't remember where I had her getting to, but I had her getting a little bit further than I would have thought, which probably suggests that her draw isn't too bad. Actually, I did my brackets last night.
Yeah, I think I've got Sakkari. I looked at it and I went, Sakkari's got potential to make at least round 3 if she doesn't get any kind of slam nerves. I can't remember who's in her set, but then I looked at who else is in that section, and I think she'll run into trouble around round 3, round 4. Yeah, she's in the Krejcikova section.
Yeah, probably I have her maybe losing to Krejcikova or maybe before. Let me have a look.
I've got my WTA. I don't have the draw, but I've got my WTA weekly notes, and that was giving me players from certain sections. Let's have a look. As Anisimova's closed out the first game to 30, so good start for her.
Shall I tell you who I've got going far? That's probably controversial. Naomi Osaka.
Oh,
which could, of course, be all done in round 1. I know, but I've got her going far.
Yeah, no, her round one draw is not actually contending to be because Ostapenko is the kind of player who would could self-destruct against her. So Ostapenko is a winnable match for Osaka. It's more she seems to struggle to maintain momentum at the minute, and she's in a very, very competitive section that includes Karolina Mukova, Leila Fernandez, Anastasia Potapova, Jasmine Paolini, Linda Noskova, Yulia Putintseva. If she's the one that's going to come out of that mess, she's going to have to fight like crazy for it. So it's not implausible, but we need to see whether we get that sort of Naomi Osaka slam roller coaster that she can carry through, as we've seen her do before. And by the way, I'm looking at Sakkari's draw. And yeah, she'd have to get through one of Krejcikova, Badosa, or Azarenka to get to the quarterfinals, probably.
I've got her going out to Badosa in the round of 16.
So there you go, yeah. So interesting. You've got Sakkari beating. What would it be?
Her first 2 or 3 rounds aren't bad. I mean, listen, I know what you mean about the, a little bit of form, I would say, has gone off for her since a good run in Indian Wells, for example. Obviously, she had a very short stint with David Witt, didn't she? That didn't work out. But her draw is just pretty good. I'm just having a look, see who her third round is against. Yafan Wong, I've got in the third round for her.
Yeah.
So that's the first round. So I've got her winning that one. Then I've got in the second round her beating someone.
Sakkari. Look, I've just seen the score. Sakkari's just saved break point against Wong.
Okay.
In the opening game.
Oh yeah, actually, I can see it as well shared on our screens. Back to Juice. Yeah.
Brutal backhand winner from Amanda Anisimova to move to love 30 in this Zheng opening serve. Again, Amanda's turn to hit a backhand return winner. The
Toronto final, the Canada final, let's call it, because it makes it a lot easier, between her and Pegula. I mean, it was kind of a bit strange in that it was so fast. It was 1 hour, I'm going to say 1 hour 25, 1 hour 30 for a 3-set match. Was pretty quick, short rallies from both players, except for, I think, the last couple of points, which took a while. Yeah, that on another day, she does win that. I mean, it was a third set. She seemed to run out a bit of steam in that third set, and that's why I think Pegula won it reasonably comfortably in there. I've just seen that backhand return, by the way. Lovely.
And now Zheng's actually got 3 break points to try and save at love 40. Amanda Anisimova's really going on the attack of the service game. She's got a second serve to look at from Zheng. Zheng's short with the forehand. Inside out forward for Anisimova. She went for too much. Out 50-40.
You thought she was going to win that one?
I did think so, but she was teeing off for an inside-out forehand.
Her returns, by the way, I've just seen the one for love 40. Sorry.
Yeah, she's going for this. Rudy's going for it. Eddie's saying hello, I think.
Is that our Eddie or is that a different Eddie?
I don't know. I'm making assumptions it's our Eddie, but maybe it's not.
If whatever, anyway, they're running in a language I don't understand, and somewhere from Asia.
Yeah. This is why I thought it was already, but yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't speak that. Any Asian.
It could be saying some horrific things. I don't know.
Quickly ban them.
I see why you thought Anisimova would win that point. I mean, it was an inside-out forehand, but went wide in the end. Osaka and Penko play tomorrow. Yes, I think.
Yeah, second match on Armstrong tomorrow after. After Collins and Dolhide. Zheng can't find a first serve right now.
Oh, and Sakkari's been broken.
Yeah. It's not unrescuable. It's only the first game, but it's not going well after our conversation. Oh, caught for Zheng. Anisimova's going to have to defend the net, and she's passed. Zheng has saved all 3 break points.
Wow. Wonder how important this game will be come the end of the match.
Yeah, I mean, Anisimova was trying to bring it to Zheng, but Zheng is currently, she's now figured out how to fend her off a bit. And maybe Anisimova's getting a bit tight. It's kind of going this quickly in her favour. And that's the thing about Anisimova. She is a player who does get tight sometimes.
Okay.
I've definitely seen a couple of times in when she had that Toronto final run. I think she did get into a couple of matches that went 3 sets unnecessarily, particularly her semi-final run, her semi-final
Third
again.
break point save, Nick. I mean, she's well down in the rally. She's really done well to get a racket on that. It was sort of a defensive shot, but it was pretty low over the net. In fact, so much so that it clipped the net and pretty much helped her win the point. She still has some work to do with the passing shot, definitely. But huge relief. I mean, net cords. Yes, I do, Brazy. I am a coffee drinker, although I've not had one today.
You're doing well.
Qinwen Zheng gets an ace there.
Brazy, you'll have to tell us if there's any more drama in the
right.
in the other match, Zhang Bublik, which I think could be quite entertaining.
Yeah. Any optimism?
Carla's broken Svitolina.
Oh yeah, so she has. Any optimism for Domi team
against Shelton? Because you're covering that in 40 minutes, aren't you?
Yeah.
I have some. I think given how their match last year at the US Open went, and maybe Dominic might be playing a bit freer at the minute. I think Dominic's going to come out feeling pretty confident that he can take it to Ben, and if he's feeling fit, I can see him getting a set or two and making it. And then if you get 2 sets, then it's kind of game on, really. So yeah, I'm optimistic that he's going to give himself a good showing at his what will be his final US Open. Who would have thought that his final US Open would be 4 years after he won it? As Zheng holds.
Huge hold, that one for Zheng. Some people making their moves already on the men's side. Zverev up a break on his compatriot Matra. I think Matra's a lucky loser there, actually. Was Zverev, he was supposed to play Rusevori, wasn't he?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Luca Nardi is down a break to Roberto Bautista Agut, the Spaniard rolling back the years. Grenier up a break on Kruger. And in the other matches, Hubert Montero, Huinsky, and Carballes Baena, they are on serve. The matches, Eddie, have indeed started.
Have indeed. And we're here to kind of talk with you guys whilst we watch. This is a watch along. So yeah, let us know what you think about the matches. Or if you need to describe what's going on to you, then we're more than happy to do that.
Vekic is up a break as well.
I
have Eric Andreeva winning that, by the way, so that's at least. And Wong has held serve against Zachary. So
yeah, the Andreeva Yuan match is one that I looked at and I went, I genuinely can't call who's going to win that. So that could be quite fun for those who on court 9 get themselves like a niche epic. Although unless Andreeva Erica really kind of motives it, because she should have picked up some confidence from winning against Danielle Collins in Monterey. By the way, speaking of confidence, Anisimova just hit an amazing backhand up the line winner.
On the left-hand side, I can remember I went Vekic, Erica Andreeva, Svitolina, and Yastremska. No great predictions. They're obviously Svitolina in a little bit of trouble already. And I know I went Zachary, Zheng, and Kazakina. I don't remember who I put between Diane Parry and Wong.
I would, well, yeah. So for those, I like Parry and Wong. Like, much as it pains me to say, I'm actually going with Wong to win that one. I think she's got a bit.
Oh, I did go Wong. Yeah, I did go Wong. Yeah.
As Zheng nets, it's 40 love Anisimova. Brazy, yeah. Linda Noshkova winning in Monterey. Huge for her. I'm really pleased for her. It's about, like, I was saying to Mario on WTA Weekly, it feels like it's about time, even though she's still 19, but she's one of those players who've been waiting until she gets a hand on a WTA trophy. For it to be a 500 is really good. I think you have to be playing really well to win a 500 in the current era. And yeah, I think this feels justified for sort of the talent level that she's showing right now. And I'm hoping that now that's kind of off her back, she might loosen up and play with a bit more confidence. I don't have her doing well at the US Open just because of the turnaround from Monterey, and that's the only reason to do with her talent. But I could see her being a big factor when we go to Asia. So, yeah, very excited. And I gather it was a very good match, or at least the first set was very good between her and Lulu Sun. So, yeah, lots going on. Yeah, as Anisimova holds to love, controlled that game really well. And it has to be said, Zheng did well to hold eventually, but Anisimova does seem to have got the better start of the two.
Sorry, I think I was off the air for a second, but I'm back now, right?
Yeah, you're back. I didn't see you leave.
Oh, okay. It was just I was just changing my microphone. I hadn't plugged it in, and then when you do that, sometimes it makes me disappear.
I did wonder why you were sounding so far away.
Okay. The poll has Zheng at 59-41. That sounds about right to me.
Interesting. I mean, pre-match, I would agree with you. Based on these first three games, that should close up.
Yeah. Well, it might well do. Yeah, that's the other thing for me about Noskova is she's got Putin save in the first round. I think I even got.
I'm not making great predictions about her at the US Open. I think you can't take the 500 in Monterrey and say, great, she's going to do really well at the US Open, partly because of the draw and partly because of the travel turnaround involved. So my confidence is more looking longer term than these 2 weeks.
Sakkari is in another fight on her own serve. Svitolina does have a break point to get back on serve against the Argentinian Carla. Carla beat Raducanu, didn't she, in maybe Madrid this year?
Yes, that was probably one of Raducanu's worst matches of the year, and what has been on the whole a pretty decent season for her. That was probably the low point, but other than that, there's a great performance from Anisimova for an error from Zheng. Other than that, I think Emma's season has been pretty good for someone that you would expect to be kind of a top 50 player.
Yep. Shang and Bublik are on serve at 2-all. Grenier is seeking to consolidate his break advantage over Kruger. And Bautista has Bautista has also consolidated his break to lead 3-love over Luca Nardi. Stricker Comisania, yeah, that one could go either way. Stricker, of course, if he can rekindle his run from last year, that would be amazing for the Swiss. He beat, of course, Stefanos Tsitsipas en route. I think I have Tsitsipas having his best US Open yet, but that's not difficult. But it's all about really the Kokkinakis match. I think he could go out in the first round. I've got him getting to the last 16. By the way, it's not amazing, but he's not been beyond the third round.
Yeah, it's doable for him. And you're right, he's never been past the third round. I think it is doable for him this year. I think he's in a tough section, isn't he? Like, if he gets past Kokkinakis.
It was Kokkinakis is the main one, but let me just have a quick look. So there could be other ones.
I had Kokkinakis losing in the very next match to someone else who was actually quite good.
Let me have a look. I have Tsitsipas beating Nuno Borges in the next round.
Borges, that's right. So actually, I have Nuno Borges going on a run this US Open.
And then I have Tsitsipas beating Jakub Mensik.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. What a rally between these two. Anisimova's brought up 2 break points, 15-40. Great sort of cat and mouse point from the two players, with Anisimova defending really well at the net with a lovely sort of drop shot. And Zheng just missed the pass, not by much.
And the previous point, the 15-30 point, again, it's all about the Anisimova return. Just killing it.
Brazy, I believe Bublik versus Zheng is court 11.
Yes, it is, yeah.
I'm not surprised people are going to see it because I think Jerry Shang's quite well known in the US after his UTS antics.
The shot before, I think the sort of penultimate shot or the one before that, Zheng really should have done better with the passing shot, and she sort of hit it kind of at Anisimova, but it was actually quite an easy volley for Amanda.
Oh, another return for Anisimova that looks like, she just missed the line. She just missed it. She went on the attack with a cross-court forehand, and it just missed. So 30-40.
Is she going to get out of jail again?
At some point, if she does, those missed opportunities are going to start having to weigh heavily on Anisimova. But it's not a missed opportunity until it happens.
Svitolina didn't break back.
So Svitolina in trouble at the minute. Forehand. Seeing comment from Matthew here, but we're into a long rally here as Anisimova's trying to get on the attack. Again, really going with the backhand. Huge backhand from Zheng Qinwen to win the point deuce.
Kazakina breaks lead 3-2. Hope she wins, as I quite like her vlogs. Okay.
Do you know what? I had Kazakina losing her match against Christian. I thought Christian would win that one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you've got to go for a few surprises, haven't you, along the way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't listen to me through earphones. That's just generally good advice.
Parry leading 3-love over Wong.
Okay, going different way than we both thought so far.
Yeah, so far.
Loving having everyone in the chat, by the way. This is great. This is a proper watch party here. Proper party.
I found the chats in the last month or so, maybe even a bit longer, have been always pretty lively. There's always a good 5. I mean, I remember not even that long ago, 6, 12 months ago, sometimes there might be one person in the chat. It might be Ghosty, me, you, and Ghosty, basically. Yeah, but now there's always a good 6, 10, 12 people, you know, regularly in the chat.
And all with great contributions and all tremendous fun.
Yeah, yeah, by and large.
We don't name names here.
No, naming no names. Yeah, no, it helps a lot. Yeah, definitely.
Break point for Zheng, for Anna Anisimova again. Second serve for Zheng. Adanda's on the attack with a return. This time she gets it. She's got it. Though she forces an error from Zheng with a huge backhand return. She's finally up in the match 3-1.
I just don't know what Zheng can do in terms of, I mean, other than hope that Anisimova misses these returns, because it's putting Qinwen in all sorts of bother.
Yeah. And I can see now why Anisimova is so dangerous to someone like Sabalenka, because Sabalenka is such a front foot player. If Anisimova's return is firing against her, she's going to get pushed back.
I'm looking at the point where she breaks right now. She's about, or was a meter inside the baseline, but then she steps back to the baseline. But again, it's the return that does the damage, taking time away from Qinwen, and not much she can do about it.
Absolutely not. And let's see if she can consolidate, though. She's just put a backhand into the net after a very short second serve. So again, this is the big weakness for Anisimova. The nerves do play a big part with her.
Carla is a double break up on Svitolina now, 4-1.
Yeah, and I can see Andreeva's a double break up on Yuan.
Andreeva as well is a double break up as well, yeah.
Yes, Brazy. Yeah, Eddie is a much calmer commentator, I would say. Very nice to listen to, for sure. I hope we get him doing some
Smooth talking.
Yeah,
he's in New York.
Oh, he's there. Brilliant. Oh, yeah, no, he did mention that.
He's certainly there for qualifying. I mean, and I'm pretty sure he's there for some parts of the first week. I think Nardi has broken back against Bautista Agut.
All the updates coming. It does seem that Zhang Bublik is the most closely contested match out there right now.
Did you see much of qualifying?
No, I wasn't able to for some reason. Like something always came up which meant I couldn't watch something.
I saw Hoinski against Maxime Cressy.
Oh, I was asleep when that happened.
Yeah, maybe not start to finish, but certainly the lion's share of it. And it was a good watch. It was a little bit messy at times, messy from Cressy in particular, and a little bizarre. And there was one, for example, Cressy has a match point, 40-15 on his serve, and there's a ball looping up, a very put-away volley, basically, very putable away volley, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he decides to let it go, and it lands in. And then it goes to 40-30, and from that moment onwards, there were one or two other bizarre match point losses. In fact, I think Hoinski lost one as well in the tiebreak. But yeah, it was one that got away from Cressy, put it that way.
Hoytski's actually in action right now on court
Yeah,
16.
that's what made me think of it, because I can see him. Yeah, 1-2.
Yeah, but breakpoint down potentially. Breakpoint down against Caballes. I actually think that could be a winnable match for Hoytski.
Oh, it's winnable. Yeah. I mean, I've seen Hoytski quite a few times this year. Actually, he was in Estoril, he was in Werash, and he was also in Bonn, the Bonn Open. So from Bonn Open to US Open.
Bit of a turnaround. Anisimova was trying to serve this game out, by the way, at 40-30. It's not been super clean so far. Let's see if she gets it. Oh, first serve just misses the line, unfortunately. So she was going for a T serve, kind of angling away from Zheng. So now she's got to try something else on the second. Zheng goes for her own rocket return, massively overhits it, and Anisimova holds.
4-1.
4-1.
That's
Yeah.
it's a nice start.
You said Carl was a double breakup on Svitolina, didn't you?
Yeah. Why did I make a mistake with that?
No, you were right.
Yeah. Yeah. You got me a bit. You got me a little bit concerned. Not big style, but yeah.
No, you're fine. I think Wong is now a double breakup on Sakari as well.
Oh,
4-1.
Maria.
Wong, you're fun. Anyway.
Ever since I said about, I think it was about May, June this year, or May time this year, I said I think Maria's back, or Maria's playing the best tennis of her career. Ever since I did that video. Oh dear. Vekic is still up a break on Birel. Erika Andreeva is 2 points away from a 5-love lead over Yuan, but Svitolina does have some breakback points against Carle.
Trying to get his back, get one of those breaks back.
Wong is back on serve with parry.
Yeah, just broke as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots happening all around. As you said, yes, I did not think that Carla would be that much of a threat to Svitolina, but that would be probably the first. I am going to say upset because I thought Svitolina was looking decent coming into this.
Yeah, and she looked very good at the US Open last year.
Mm.
In fact, from across the 3 slams that she played last year, super consistent. Going deep in all 3. I think she was maybe 4th round of the US Open last year. I might be wrong on that. I remember having a really good match with Pavlyuchenkova that she emerged the winner of, and I'm thinking that was the 3rd round. She would have been, what was she, semi-finals at Wimbledon last year?
Semis at Wimbledon, yeah.
And I think quarters at the French, I think.
Yes, lost to Sabalenka.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Svitolina this year is, since she got injured in Australia, because she had really good opportunity there and just got injured in the last 16, because I think she was playing Noshkova, would have got Yastremska and then Zheng Qinwen. As currently Zheng is struggling to deal with another huge return from Amanda Anisimova at love 15. But then after that, I think she's only really brought, she's had some good runs at only 2 tournaments, and that was Rome, where she went toe-to-toe with Sabalenka, and then Wimbledon, where she made quarters, lost to Rybakina.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think she's got one of the breaks back, by the way.
Okay, so comeback is on for Elina Svitolina.
This set, yeah. Kazatkina serving for the set at 5-2. Your upset alert there, Nick, is not happening at the moment.
No. And I suppose with Christiane, I thought Christiane might show up this tournament, but maybe she's more of a clay player.
Yeah, I've got Yastremska beating Niemeyer. Niemeyer, for me, is largely about the grass, a little bit about the clay, and she's fine on a hard court, but she doesn't stand out as much.
She's good on a fast hard court, I would say. I've seen her play on faster hard courts, and she's pretty good on those.
Brazy keeping us updated with Zheng against Bublik.
That does seem to be the most closely contested match so far. with did I tell you my mum nearly walked into Hule Niemeyer at Wimbledon?
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know this story.
So you've obviously been to Wimbledon, right? You know they've got the practice courts
Yeah.
where like you can go, you stand behind a line, like a sort of a ribbon there to watch. And so like we could see like we were pretty much next to Karen Khachanov. Bianca Andreescu walked right past us. And then we were kind of like, well, we stood there for about 20 minutes. And they were like, Rao, I think we've seen people changing over their practice. Let's go and actually watch a match now. And the attendant said, oh, if you're leaving, you know, I'll let you through the ribbon and you just need to just go straight out. Mum decided she just wanted to get one last photo, stopped, and wasn't paying attention as Hule Niemeyer walked out of her practice and nearly into her. Mum, keep walking. We're supposed to. Oh, never mind.
imagine Hule Niemeyer. Breaking news: she's out of Wimbledon because some lady bumped into her and stood on her foot or something.
Yeah, I think she actually then rocketed through her opening match, something like that. I can't remember what it was, how she did Wimbledon this year, but.
Svitolina under a little bit of pressure on her serve at 15-30. Qinwen Zheng has got a game point for 2-4.
Which is she does not get because you've got a huge forehand from Anisimova that is impossible for any player to get back.
So it's back to due, or he's on due, sorry.
Yeah, Brazy's updating us saying that Zhang has broken to love.
Ah, there we go. So he's going to serve for the first set. I think I had Bublik winning that, but yes, Zhang getting off to a good start, it would seem, after this tightly contested first set, does see one of the two players blink, and Zverev is 7 for the first set as well at 5-2.
We've got Anisimova has now got another break point as again, Zheng Qinwen tries to go inside-out backhand and puts it in the net. If anyone's watching the Parry match, let me know how she's doing because absolutely we love watching her. But yeah,
a lot of compliments for Parry and her one-handed backhand.
Like topspin forehand, one-handed backhand, dream player for me. Great rally going on between these two to contest this break point, exchanging forehand. It does feel like Zheng is just trying to live with Anisimova, and she can't because in the end she nets with a backhand. Anisimova is going to serve at 5-1 double break for the first set.
Wow.
We might be wrapping up just around the time that we have to away for Team Shelton.
Well, how long can Anisimova keep this level going? That is the key to the match, and it was probably the key to the match beforehand as well. As I say, I did tip Qinwen to win, and I'm still not convinced that we're going to see this level from Amanda non-stop for the length of time that she'll need to bring it to win this match. But yeah,
the first set of this year's US Open has been won by Daria Kasatkina, 6-2.
Indeed, it has. So well done,
in her latest quest to prove Nick Carter wrong.
Dominic Stricker, Alexander Zverev, and Jerry Zhang are not far behind. They are all serving for their respective sets against their respective opponents. Stricker's just recently got the break there. Hoinski's down a break, by the way, to Carballos Baena. And Grenier is up a break on Kruger.
Zheng has run down an Anisimova drop shot, which was definitely gettable and made it love 15. I do agree with Anisimova. She does have these dips and can get a bit nervous. To answer Ghosty's question, it's a focus issue, I think. I don't think it's fitness.
It's saying like fitness, but it's even not, for me, Nick, it's not even focus. It's just law of averages.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to paint
like that constantly.
Yeah. And so I guess you can link it to focus, but
she's just double faulted, by the way.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That might be focus. So it's if it's anything, it's focus. But I would also just go, look, you know, you go for 10 shots, you're probably going to make 7 to some extent, and if you make 9 in a row, then yeah, the law of averages says you might mess up on 6 more.
Well, she's messed up again. Double fault again. Love 40 for Zheng to get one of the breaks back. And suddenly Anisimova cannot get a serve over the net. her last 5 service deliveries have ended up in the net. Zheng's going to attack the second serve, which is in the court. Oh, she gets the luckiest of lucky net chords on the backhand return and breaks to love to delay Anisimova getting this set.
And Carla has re-extended, or whatever the word is, got the double break advantage once again. It's going to serve for the first set over Svitolina 5-2. As I said,
that's going to be something that's going to make Coco Gauff happy, because Svitolina was her potential third round opponent.
Okay. Yeah. Gauff's draw, not too bad from memory.
So not for the first 2 rounds. No, she's pretty good. Like Svitolina was one in the 3rd round. I could seen that being a real banana skin for her.
And Kazakhstan is making a good start to the second set as well. I'm going to switch over here, and I expect to see 1 or 2 people having won their respective sets. I see Zverev has won the first set over Marta 6-2. Marta, he was also in Bonn, I think. Stricker has won that set over Komisanya, and Zheng has 2 set points in the first set over Alexander Bublik. Humbert is up a break now as well on Montero. That slipped me by.
What slipped you by, sorry?
I didn't realize that Humbert was up a break on Montero.
No, I think there's a lot of stuff to keep up with. I wonder who got the set first in the men's side, whether it was Zverev or Stricker. Probably Zverev.
It was nip and tuck. They were both serving pretty much four at the same time, but I don't know who got over the line in terms of the first one.
Might have been about the same.
It's certainly not Zheng, though, because Bublik has got it back to deuce.
Yeah, Zheng having some trouble closing it out. Not surprising in what is looking like, as we said, a very competitive match.
Was Zheng on the other side of the net when we had some Mute antiques? I'm going to say, was it Madrid or Paris? I can't remember now.
I think it was. Yeah, there was an epic they had between the two of them on a clay court event. I think it was
Madrid was when Mutet was asking for coffee.
I think it was that match.
Yeah.
Because I was hearing all kinds of noises about this crazy match that was happening on an outside court.
Zheng does indeed eventually close out the first set, though, Brazy says, so thank you for that.
Anisimova already going on the attack with the return, and definitely, it does seem to me that this set, Amanda Anisimova is much more confident on return than on serve, whereas Zheng Qinwen, you could probably say the same, given maybe you say the same, although having said that, she's probably being pushed back by the Anisimova return, and Zheng's just not netted a forehand cross court from the net, so love 30. I would say she's more confident returning right now than serving, but Zheng's return is nowhere near as effective as Anisimova's is right now.
I'm giggling because I think from Ghosty's reaction that he's not aware of this story about the coffee. It was about midnight as well in Madrid, I'm pretty sure. And
surely the adrenaline would be enough.
Yeah, I with Mutet, there is some, stuff going on that could be gamesmanship, could be all sorts of stuff. I don't know whether he really did feel the necessity to have a shot of coffee or not. There's normally other things that sports people will take on. He is aware. He is aware. Yeah, he is aware. But yeah, he just finds it hilarious. Yes, indeed. Mutet divides. I always look at him as a case-by-case individual. I don't mind the coffee one. I think that is funny. I also think that he was largely in the right in Chile when he was having a lot of issues with the crowd there when he was playing Nicolas Jarry. Nicolas Jarry, of course, a Chilean. But does he cross the line sometimes? Probably. But case by case.
2 set points for Amanda Anisimova as Zheng Qinwen again breaks down in a forehand-to-forehand rally. That was this time Zheng going over the baseline instead of into the net. And it's 2 set points for the American, which could put her halfway to an upset of seeding. If you know the quality of these two players, you wouldn't necessarily call this result an upset, given that given their pedigrees and their CVs.
Not an upset, I agree, but it would have to be near the top of the head. If Zheng wins this match, it's probably not at the top of the headlines. But if Anisimova wins it, it does sort of add another layer to the headline-ness of the situation.
Zheng picks off a crazy short ball from Anisimova, saves one of the set points, 30-40.
What's this about Mute whacking balls at a Russian guy during their warm-ups? Yeah, I think I've heard something about this as well, that he was hitting the ball a bit too hard during a warm-up, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, this does not surprise me with this guy.
I reckon...
haven't had Mute Bublik yet, because I feel like that could end in a fight.
Yeah. Just watching some of these points here. So I'm watching the first one that was saved.
Anisimova's backhand return, failing her just. It wasn't out by much, but it is to deuce.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that Brad Gilbert would drink coffee all the time during his matches.
It was the 80s. It's a different time. It doesn't count.
Yeah. Zheng was in your power rankings, but I'm not quite sure. Was she 7? Probably something like that.
5. And she was very close to being 4, actually.
Okay.
I came into this US Open with a lot of confidence in her. And then I saw the Anisimova first round. I was like, really?
At the end of this game, I've got a 30-second video with your power rankings.
Go for it. We're into a rally at the minute. Lots of stuff going on. Zheng nets again. So now it's another set point for Anisimova. Again, just being pushed back by Anisimova return, which did go in this time. And Kasatkina's already a breakup in the second set against Christiane. So she's really running away with this one. Set point number 3 for Amanda Anisimova. First serve delivery from Zheng is really good. That was a first serve when she needed it. Anisimova couldn't get anything. Well, she really swung through it, but there was too much power on it to get back in court. And it's back to deuce. So we're a 5-minute game.
Svitolina's got one of the breaks back.
Carla's got set point, though. Wang Yifan has got the first against Sakari, 6-2.
Yeah. And that set point is on Svitolina's serve, but yes. And
Hule Niemeyer's got a break against Yaya Yastremska for 4-3. Last woman to break this match, I think, this tournament. Oh, backhand winner from Zheng. That was lovely. Absolutely lovely. So Zheng's got game point to force Anisimova to serve the set out again. And we know how that went when she last tried to serve out at 5-1. Let's see if it goes any better for her at 5-3. She'd want to break now. Second serve for Zheng. Coming up. This is Zheng, a player who was on my power ranking. Backhand attack on the attack for Anisimova on the return. It's long. Zheng holds.
All right, I'm going to play this video. When the video is done, you will be alone, Nick, okay?
Okay. Number 11, Marta Kostyuk. Number 10, Paula Badosa. Number 9, Barbara Kajikova. Number 8, Jasmine Paolini. Number 7, Elena Rybakina. Number 6, Danielle Collins. Number 5, Zheng Qinwen. Number 4, Coco Gauff. Number 3, Jessica Pegula. Number 2, Iga Swiatek. And number 1, for the first time in my power rankings history, Arina Sabalenka. It's the Tennis Hillybillies here. So there you go. Power rankings. If you've not seen them before, let me know what you think of them. I mean, so far, not going great for me. I might have to keep a tally of who makes it through from them. Forehand on the attack from Anisimova, trying to close this set out. Backhand cross court, backhand Zheng up the line. Anisimova nets the forehand under pressure from Zheng. Love 15. Yeah. Tennis Hillbillies, yeah. Hoedown, like it. Yeah, that's also... you could also use that in the context of some tennis matches, maybe. think only Miles would find that funny if he was here. And already Anisimova again not finding the serves that she needs to close this out. She's double faulted again. Love 30. I do want to clarify, like, there are some other honourable mentions that didn't make it in to the power ranking. Obviously, it started with Kostyuk, who's still in the tournament. Forehand in play from Zheng, who's under attack from Anisimova. Gets the job done into the open court, 15-30. I know what you mean, Sean, about sort of 3 or 4 players having predictable results. I'd never bet on tennis because I don't like risking money on things. But I know what you mean. Like, there's only there's a reason why the top 3 or 4 in the world are the top 3 or 4 in the world, because they show up almost every tournament. I don't think we've ever really had an era where more than 3 or 4 regularly showed up for every tournament. Huge attempt at a return from Zheng, dragged wide on the forehand, 30-all. Anisimova might be rescuing the situation here to try and close this set out. But Zheng is showing that she's not going away. And I did say this one could go 3. We're not saying Anisimova's in control, even if she does get this set. Oh, Anisimova's looking frustrated because the first off at the tee was just wide and she's frustrated. Looked really, really good. Short for attack from Zheng. Forehand into the net for Anisimova. Break point Zheng to get us back on serve after being a double break down. This momentum of the set's really swung here. By the way, if you are wondering where John's gone, we are going to be doing another stream simultaneously for... Well, I was going to say about the good grief, there's news happening everywhere. Schwarner has now informed us that Sakkari has retired. That's a shock. She very rarely retires. There's obviously something very wrong there for her to pull out. And clearly there was something very wrong for her in her match with Wang Yifan. So Sakkari is out. Huge forehand from Zheng, putting Anisimova under pressure. Is Zheng going to finish off here? She lets it bounce. Goes on the inside out forehand. She gets it. She breaks. We're back on serve. 4-5. Maria Sakkari is out of the US Open on a retirement. That is a shock. 6-2. I don't know if anyone was watching Court 17. Was there a medical timeout or anything like that? But that's big news. So we have our first result, and it's a walkover. It's not ideal, but for Wang Yifan, she's probably going to be happy that she's got through that match. Sakkari out. First top 10 player out of the US Open. Zheng Qinwen might be about to turn things around for her. I don't think you can call that Sakkari's fault, though, this time for not going too deep in the tournament. Body letting you down. I don't think that could have ever be said that's a player's fault. It's not like other early slam exits that Sakkari's had. But there you go. So, a bit of a disappointment out there on Louis Arms. Disappointment out there on Court 17 for those who were looking forward to that match. So I guess, they're going to have to call out the next hour players to make sure that they're ready. Just checking to see who that would be. Court 17. I think that's Ruud against Boo. So I think Casper Ruud should be coming out soon in the next 10 to 15 minutes on that court. And by the way, to say where I was in the middle of before I saw that breaking news, John is going to be doing a stream for Team versus Shelton, which is obviously the other big match, and what an opener on Arthur Ashe that one's going to be. But I hope that you will stick with me, because this one's turning into something fairly special as well. Carbaz Baena has the first set against Jan Huitsky. Bear's got the first against Tiago Montero. It's actually staying. Masters making it a bit closer with Zverev in the second set. Shang Bublik is again super close in the second. Christian's got the break back against Kasatkina. Vekic is serving for the first set against Kimberly Birrell. We've got set points for Erica Andreeva on court 8. Carla's got the first set 6-3 against Svitolina. And Yustrzewska serving to the set. We've got Wang Jiu trying to avoid losing Diane Parry as forehand goes long from Zheng under pressure from the Anisimova return. Love 15. You are as upset as we can be on right now. I will see if we get any other set results coming your way. Mainly looking at the women's game, I would say. So it's love 15. Seeing what's going on. Was she injured from before the start of the first round? I mean, probably. I don't know. I haven't seen the match, so I don't know if she went over. If she didn't fall over or anything during the match, or she didn't tweak something during the match, then yes, but no kind of indication of that as the Anisimova return goes into the net 15 all. Brazy's still sticking with court 17 by the sound of it. I can see why you worried about Anisimova's fitness, Dave, but I don't often see any kind of concerns for a player in that regard physically. I think she should be fine. She goes 3 sets, she wins them. Unreturnable serve from Zheng, 30-15. Kasatkina looking to get the first break. Erika Andreeva's closed the first set against One Way. Diane Parry 2 points away from the first set against Wang Jiu. Happening all over. All over. It's a shame that John left for before Sakari. We heard the news about Sakari. He literally just missed it. That would have been a fun and an interesting talking point with John. Oh, huge return for Anisimova, forcing an error from Zheng. It's 30 all, and Anisimova's now 2 points away from the set once again. She's had set points, remember, at 5-2, Zheng serving. Interesting. Brazy, you were saying you think you don't see. I think I'm not watching the public match, but I'm looking at the scores, and it looks competitive according to the scores, but obviously you're seeing Zhang is playing much better. Is Zheng's medal in her tennis bag? I don't think it is. It's probably stowed away in China somewhere. Like the Chinese authorities probably not going to want her to take that around with her. Although actually no, she brought it to New York. Actually no, she has brought it to New York. She showed it to the crowd. Oh no, was that no? Actually, that might have been Djokovic. I think Djokovic is the one who's brought his medal. Great rally at the minute, forehand to forehand between these two. Has Zheng gone long? She has. Is another set point from Anisimova. $30-40. Can Anisimova take advantage of these set points? She's only been having set points on her serve. She wants to get this done so there's as little drama as possible. Fourth set point for Amanda Anisimova. First serve in from Zheng. Great return from Anisimova. Now they're trading again. Oh, that's the rocket from Anisimova on the forehand at the line. And there we go. And Anisimova breaks. She had a double break. Zheng pegged her back. It looked like the set was going to be competitive. And then Amanda goes on the attack and is attacking Anisimova, who goes up 6-4 in this match. Zheng in trouble. One of my power rankings in trouble. By the way, I will say there is a reason I do honorable mentions. It's because I do want to make sure that I cover the eventual champion somewhere if I get it wrong. My other honorable mentions being, I think Svitolina was on there. She's in trouble. Emma Navarro, Leila Fernandez, Diana Schneider, Donna Vekic, who has just got the first set against Kimberly Birrell, 6-4. Apologies if I've broken people's ears again. I have a habit of doing that. Diana Yustrzewska and Julia Nima having an absolute marathon game in court 6. That looks like a fun match. And again, marathon game potentially to finish first set between Parry and Wong. what else is happening around the grounds? By the way, feel free to throw questions my way, and more than happy to come back to you on anything you guys want to talk about. Hugo Grenier just won the first set against Mitchell Kruger. It's kind of going with serve in all the other matches. Montero's up against Humbert in the second set, so that could be split sets on that one. I'm waiting to see what the next one is. So yeah, if you are obviously, thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully you're enjoying the coverage on the channel, describing everything to do with this Zheng Qinwen Amanda Anisimova match. Looks like this Jerry Shang and Alexander Bublik match is super fun as well. But that seems to be what we're talking about. So if you guys can, I'm enjoying seeing the updates that Ghosty and Dave and Brazy are giving me from that match, and I'm more than happy to keep you up to speed with what's happening in this Anisimova Zheng match. I know what you mean, Dave. I don't understand why. No, actually, I know what you mean. Like, I know you want to fist pump with your dominant hand, but I never change my racket. For my racket never leaves my right hand. I very much treat it as an extension of my arm. Now, obviously, I'm not a tennis player. I do understand that you get calluses and blisters on your fingers when playing, and you do need to give your hand a break, especially when playing at that level. I don't play at that level. I believe my world tennis number is 34. So that gives you an idea of the level that I play at. But yeah, so I always fist pump with my left because yeah, it makes sense to me. No, I think we do need to, Ghosty, don't worry about talking ATP. Like, I agree with you. At Slam, we need to keep across both. We need to keep across everything. Because obviously we need to see what's happening across everywhere. So men's or women's. So yeah, that is one of the matches to watch. There's a lot of good matches out there, as I said, because it looks like we've got real epics going on between Wang Zhu and Parry and Anisimova and Diana Yastremska. Let's see what's going on. So, okay, so Wang did hold, so it's 5-all in that first set between Parry and Wang. Still a deuce between Nima and Yastremska. I don't know if they're on pause or something. Svitolina's got break points, and she's just broken to lead the second set, so she's digging herself out of trouble. So in the process of digging herself out of trouble here. As we're at love 30 on the Anisimova serve in this opening service game, Zheng's just netted. And Vekic is a set in the breakup. She's broken the opening game of the second set. I mean, I don't care what my level looks like, Dave. I only care what it is. And I don't see how it helps. Interesting that Bublik's entourage has been told to calm down, according to Brazy. Maybe the Kazakh lads should be stirring up trouble at Elena Rybakina's matches for her. Rybakina obviously getting her campaign underway tomorrow. I think she's first on grandstand. Second set from Anisimova out wide. Goes for the attack on the forehand. That is a winner. Clean winner. Playing with the line a little bit, but still well inside. And it's 40-30. So from love 30 to 40-30. Good few sequence of points from Anisimova here. Great serve from Anisimova. Oh, Zheng somehow finds the court with the lob return, but overhits the forehand, and it's game Anisimova, and she's going to be happy with that. Right, let's have a look and see we've got going on around. So again, women's matches. Donna Vekic is looking set to consolidate her early break in the second against Birrell. Go set them 2-love up. Kasakinas still set on a break up against Christian. And Dreva is trying to consolidate an early break against Yuan. Make it set the break advantage. Svitting trying to consolidate the break against Carl. Niemeyer has... So Yastremska actually held that insanely long game she had against Niemeyer. So Niemeyer's now coming out to serve for the first set. It's 5-4. But I'm wondering if Yastremska is going to take some solace from... get a bit of a boost from holding that long service game. We'll have to see what happens in court 6. And then Wong serving again to stay in the first set against Diane Parry at 5-6. On the men's side, still going with 7 in the second set between Zverev and Martira, and again between Bublik and Zheng, although Zheng looks like he's getting into this Bublik service game. Montero is 3-love up in the second, Humbert up in the first. Bautista Good got the first set 7-5 against Luca Nardi. They're just eyeing the second. Jan Hrinsky is 1-2 down the second on serve. And it's set down to Roberto Cabellas Baena. And Dominic Stricker is set the break up against Comisana. And Ben Shelton and Dominic Thiem should be getting underway in the next few minutes. I mean, I feel like there are day drinkers in the stands at pretty much any tennis match at a slam. Definitely the US Open and definitely at Wimbledon as well. Okay, well, that's interesting. Oh, huge ace from Zheng to move to 40-love. Goes to interesting stats from Vekic, 54%. I'm not surprised Birrell probably doesn't have the power to punish her on return when she's getting second serves. She's getting second serves. And Dave, I have to say that Ghosty just mentioned Danielle as Zheng holds to love, and it does feel like she's working this match back in her favor. For me, no, when you're blowing smoke off a gun, it's cooler to blow the smoke off the tennis racket, Danielle Collins style. She did that French Open. I think it was 2020 she did that. That was such a cool moment. I know I'm not super popular in the eager fandom for liking Danielle Collins as well, but hey, you like who you like, and I think she's a really nice, genuine I think she's a genuine person. And I think her antics on court are fun rather than mean-spirited. Great backhand return winner from Anisimova. But since Danielle's retiring, we don't need to worry about that for too much longer. By the way, if you are joining and you're wondering what's going on, we do have a breaking news that Maria Sakkari is out of the US Open. She retired after losing the first set to Wang Yifan. Great backhand. Oh, great backhand cross-court winner off the short ball from Zheng. And Anisimova really had to get really low to pick it up. And when you're doing that on the move, that's really difficult. It's a great shot from Amanda there. Interestingly, some crush and rush tactics from Bublik being on display against Jerry Shang. Backhand inside out from Anisimova on the attack. And again, Anisimova showing why she's got comments to the backhand. It's an inside out backhand winner, almost in the corner, and it's 40-love. And we have our first tiebreak of the US Open, people. It's happening between Diane Parry and Wang Zhu. Thank you for the update, Ghosty. Best first strike player in recent times. That's a good question, Brazy. I mean, when first strike, you have got some really good options there. But yeah, David's saying Sabalenka. I find that one hard to argue with as Zheng nets and Anisimova holds for 2-1 in this set. Yeah, on the women's game, I am going to go with Sabalenka, although having said that, on clay, Iga. But yeah, I can't think of anyone else I can think of where they're consistently, when they get the first strike in and getting the ball. I mean, Anisimova's rivaling it right now, to be honest. And then in terms of the men's game, first strike, probably, maybe I'm trying to think about who there is. Probably the American players. But I think probably consistently it's got to be Sinner right now. Oh, Berrettini, says Dave. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I do think I agree with you, Ghosty. Roddick has too few slams on his record. Like, it does seem a bit silly that some of his talent only won the one. Is there a bigger gap between Iga and Sabalenka on a clay or a hard court? Well, there's a problem with that in that you're assuming that all clay courts and hard courts are the same. Because we know Madrid's very different, and on Madrid, they're just so the two of them are basically the same level at Madrid. Because like Iga's won loads of hardcore matches against Sabalenka at varying speeds. So I guess given that Sabalenka only gets an advantage when the court is super fast, maybe and Iga got right in there. Yeah, maybe the gap is bigger on clay, like proper clay, Rome or Paris clay. There's a significant gap between Iga and Arena. Zheng serving, by the way, at 15 love. Gets an ace there, 30 love. Oh! Marta has got a break against Zverev in the second set. 4-2. Zverev not having an easy start. And Shelton and team has got started. Shelton serving first. It's only the opening game. What else is happening? Kasatkine is about to serve for the match. 6-2-5-4. We've got 40 love here for Zheng Anisimova. Zheng misses the first serve. Try and close this out. Yeah, Yastremska's really... By the way, Yastremska has got this Niemeyer service game to juice, which is critical as Niemeyer serving for the first set. And we've got a tie... It's 4-1 and the 4-2 to parry in the tie break between her and Wang Zhu. Oh, Ghosty's now updating us on parry. Bublik's up. Thank you, Brazy. So that one could be split sets. That's going to be competitive. Ace from Zheng. She holds 2-all. On the Draper racket thing, I think as a player, look, he says he was I think Draper was looking at the ball, but then I've also played where I've never been entirely sure about a double bounce when I've hit it. Like, I'm just in the moment of trying to hit it, and then after I've hit it, I've gone, oh, was that okay? And I do need that third party to tell me absolutely sure. So I could see a scenario where you could lose count of a ball bounce or be not sure if you quite got the racket underneath it. I could see a scenario where Draper didn't know, but he wasn't sure. And Anisimova touched the net, concedes the point to Qinwen. Love 15. Love 30 even. Yeah, she was trying to run down a drop shot from Zheng and ran into the net. You can see there, like she like the ball dropped sooner than she was expecting. She tried to reach over the net, but her foot walks into it. And yeah, concedes a point that she otherwise would have won. Unreturnable serve though from Anisimova for 15-30. Yeah, in recreational tennis you are, but like I genuinely can't tell sometimes in the heat at the moment. But I do where I can. Unreturnable serve again for Anisimova, 30 all. Set points for Diane Parry. Niemeyer's got the first set against Diana Yastremska, 6-4. She does close it out in the end. And Diane Parry seals the first tiebreaker of the US Open, 7-2 against Wang Zhu. Double breaks for Svitolina in the second set with Carl. I wonder if Svitolina will complete the turnaround there. I would expect her to. Match points for Daria Kasatkina, the first match points of this US Open. Can we get our first completed match result? We've got break point for Zheng Qinwen as well. 30-40. Great serve from Anisimova. But Zheng's got in play. And Anisimova's over hit the forehand. Zheng breaks in the second set for 3-2. And she is now up in this match. And it has to be said, I think the momentum is with the Chinese player at this moment in time in the match. Zheng Qinwen is up 3-2, having lost the first set 6-4. Christiane saved the first match point with Kasatkina. I'm going to keep an eye on the score there. Oh, I really wish I was watching this Diane Parry performance. I mean, I say that. I think that this is the match I'd rather watch because I think this is turning into a really good match. But yeah, seeing Diane Parry hit like painting lines with that forehand, I'm going to have to go and find some highlights. And they're just showing replays at the moment that Anisimova just put her foot in the net and ultimately potentially costing her that game. Because we'd be looking at 40-30 then and not a break. Kasatkina gets it, 6-2, 6-4. She is the first player to complete a match this US Open. And she is through against Jacqueline Christian and proves me wrong about her early exit. So Kasatkina marches on into the next round. So just to be clear, we've got two players through already. Wang Yifan, who has benefited from Sakkari's retirement, and Daria Kasatkina. We're not anywhere near a result on the men's side, although I do believe it's now a set all between Shang and Bublik in a match that's going pretty quickly. Stricker looks like he's having to restore the break advantage against Komisarna on the other side, and Sfera's broken back against Martira, so that break advantage in the second set did not last very long for Maxime Martira. We're up to date. Yes, Brazy. So Kasatkina is through. I mean, yes, Dave, it's probably a better description for, yeah, she did kind of step on the net. And that's kind of the most egregious thing I've ever seen. I don't think I've even seen an amateur player do that, to be honest. She just got completely caught out with where the ball was going. It was shorter than she expected. 15 love in this service game from Zheng, who's got a second serve coming up. Oh, backhand up the line winner from Anisimova on the return, 15-all. That return has not quite gone away from Anisimova. Still a big threat in this match. Sean, are you talking about on like amateur tennis if you're calling your own lines? saying if it's close, it's out, because I was taught to go if it's close, it's in. Oh, huge backhand up the line from Zheng, but she's missed it. She kind of spins around afterwards. A little bit of frustration. 15:30 now, so Zheng might have some trouble consolidating this break. I have never played on clay, Sean. There's actually not that many clay courts in the UK. I think I know some in Birmingham. There might be some in Nottingham, but they're at like the places where they play the tournaments, so they're going to be expensive to play on. I know there's some down south. There might be one or two around London, but yeah, I have never played on clay. I would love to play, though. I'd love to give it a go. Yeah, I agree with you, Ghosty. It's more fun and it avoids arguments if you just say close is in. And I agree with you, Dave, as well. Like, I've definitely put my hand up and when I've called the ball out, realised I was wrong, and I said, no, I was wrong, your point. Tennis is only fun if you're sportsmanlike. Zheng aces, by the way, closes out for 4-2. I'm not sure if Sean was joking, and I'm sorry if I'm taking you seriously, but I'm not saying you're wrong if that is how you do it. As long as the other guy's okay with it. Oh, no. Okay, Zheng's not closed the point out. It was let. So 40-30 still. I was watching the chat, not the match. Why is it that I always watch the chat when Nerland's not here? Yeah, I know you're a nice guy, Sean. First service out from Zheng on this replay point. Backhand attack it for Anisimova, but she puts it in the net. Now Zheng is held for 4-2. Let's have a look around what's going on whilst we wait between these games. So Erika Andreeva starting to break up against Yuan Wei. Vekic might be in trouble of getting broken. She's got something to break against Birrell. Svitolina's serving for the second set against Carla, 5-2. The second set's not started between Niemeyer and Yastremska. Wong has served out her opening game against Parry in the second set. And then what about the men's side? 4-all deuce between Marta and Zverev. Shang Bublik's underway in the third. Humbert's broken back against Montero, so that second set still going between them. It's a set of break advantage for Roberto Bautista Agut against Luca Nardi, going with serve between Kabayev and Choinsky in the second, as Anisimova nets a backhand cross court, love 15. And she's now struggling to hold serve, although she's definitely been struggling to hold serve for most of the match. It's just that she was handling her very early service games a lot better. Let's go with serve between Shelton and Thiem, by the way, as well. Not many breaks to report at the minute. Oh, very short ball from Zheng. And Anisimova misses the cross-court backhand trying to pick it off. Love 30. Birrell has broken back. It's 3-all with Vekic on court 12. So Birrell's suddenly got herself back in this match. Great first serve from Anisimova. Oh, the return from Zheng Qinwen was just inside the baseline, but Anisimova picks off the backhand cross-court winner. Jane, I know that you are paying more attention to. I was going to ask you how Stricker is looking, but clearly aspects of him are looking good to you, but how's his tennis looking? Like, how's that match going? Is it an interesting match? Interesting rally going on between Zheng and Anisimova, backhand to forehand, trading forehands now, and Anisimova's gone long. Didn't do enough with the short ball that she got from Zheng. It's 15-40. Zheng has got points for a double break, as Anisimova did in the first set. Also, Dave, your question about the Brit who is playing Kavaz Baina, Jan Hwinski. Damien could tell you more about him. I believe he was playing under the German flag, but now he's switched to the British in the last couple of years. Regular on the Challenger circuit, has played Wimbledon a couple of times. Winner from Anisimova there, by the way, to save the first break point, 30-40. Yeah, I never actually seen him play, which is the problem. But tall guy, I think. Yeah, Damien's probably your best bet to ask him about. First of all, Anisimova is long, trying to defend the second break point. Second shot, second serve. Zheng goes on the attack with the return. Backhand Anisimova short. Forehand Zheng into the net. Missed that break point chance. Deuce. Okay, you're just here to check scores, Jane. Were you here for the last score roundup? If not, I can give you them. We'll see if I'll probably give them after this game anyway. Oh, Schwarner is saying that Svitolina is having a medical timeout. Thank you for the update there, Schwarner, which is interesting because she's 5-2 up in the second. She's about to serve for the second set. So there must genuinely be an issue there. Or maybe she's trying to kill any momentum Carl might have. Huge forehand return from Qinwen. Winner. Advantage to Qinwen, who, yeah, that was wonderful. The kind of return that Anisimova is there. She kind of caught it with the corner of her racket. What a shot from Qinwen. Forehand from Anisimova. And then we're trading forehand. Anisimova up the line with a forehand. That's a winner. Wonderful tennis on display from both. What a corker to open this account. It has to be said that the shots these two are producing, absolutely brilliant. It's a shame that the people you're in... That's actually quite funny, Dave. Yeah, it's a shame. We need to get your charges interested in tennis, Jane. Advantage Anisimova, forcing an error from Qinwen. Vekic has reinstated her break advantage, 6-4-4-3. So yeah, Jane, stick with us for the next couple of minutes and I will give you a scores roundup after this point. Or after this game, I would say. After this game, because this still could be an epic. We've got a second serve coming up for Anisimova. Second serve on the attack. Great return from Qinwen. Backhand winner. Yeah, I'm just looking around, seeing what else is going on. Aranka Dreva's lost her break advantage against Yuan. And Carl's got the first 2 points of this Svitolina service game, so there must be something up with Svitolina on court 5. First serve delivery from Anisimova is good. Then follows up, forehand into the net. Another break point for Zheng Qinwen. Anisimova is looking very fed up that she's in this situation. It does feel like a critical game. She can get through this. She still feel very much in this set. If she gets broken, she's very much in danger of not just having this set, but potentially the match running away from her. 6-minute game. Well, these players need to get the job done because they're preventing me from giving Jane the update on the scores. Second serve for Amanda Anisimova, break point down. Hour and 23 on the clock. Forehand on the attack from Zheng is into the net. So we're back to deuce. I will give you a couple of results, Jane, because we have 2 results. Daria Kasatkina won 6-2, 6-4. She's the first person to complete a match today. The first person into the second round is Wang Yifeng, who took advantage of the fact that Sakkari retired after losing the first set 6-2. Great backhand winner cross court from Anisimova for an advantage to get her to advantage. So yeah, the big story so far is that Maria Sakkari is out due to retirement. It was a good thing most of her points aren't from slams anyway. First serve from Anisimova is in. Now she's finding it with a backhand up the line. Zheng's going to struggle with that. She dumps it into the net. What an escape from Anisimova. She holds for 4 to get to stay at 3-4 and only the 1 break, and she's making this match still competitive. Hello, Miles. You're just in time for me to now round up the scores. So from, as I said, Maria Sakkari is out. Retired against Wang Yifeng. Daria Kasatkina is through in straight sets. We've got 6-4, 4-3 Donna Vekic, but she might be about to get broken back again by Kimberly Birrell. Erika Andreeva, 6-3, 3-4 against Wan Yue. Elena Svitolina has managed to get this game to juice. She is serving at 3-6, 5-2 against Maria Karl, trying to get this to a deciding set. Hule Niemeyer is leading 6-4, 1-2 against Diana Yastremska, and Diane Parry is leading 7-6, 1-2 against Wang Zhu. That's all the women's for you. Lots of competitive second sets going on here, not just in the women's, but also in the men's. Men's singles so far. Let's go from bottom to top. So Ben Shelton is 3-all with Dominic Thiem. They're going with serve and Arthur Ashe. Komisar's just got the second set against Dominic Stricker, so it's a set all between those two. Hugo Grenier is 6-4 up, but 1-4 down in the second to Mitchell Kruger. Roberto Carballés Baena is going to be serving for is serving at 6-2, 5-3, so serving to make it 2 sets to love against Jan Huinski. Baptista Agut is leading 7-5, 4-2, but Luca Nardi does have break back points. Hugo Lambert has come from a breakdown in the second and now is leading 6-3, 5-4, so he's going to be serving for a 2 sets to love lead. Jerry Shang and Alexander Bublik are into a third. Shang is leading 2-1 on serve in the third. Shang won the first at 6-4. Bublik won the second set 6-3. It's a very competitive match on court 11. And on grandstand, Alexander Zverev won the first set 6-2 against Maxime Martyra. Was a breakdown in the second, but clawed it back and is now serving to stay in the second set at 5-6. You are now up to date with all the scores. So if that's what you were hoping for, great. Hope that was helpful for you. And I'll keep you up to date with any other score updates if needed. Don't worry about following the chat, Shauna. It's fine. Just let us know if there's anything to do with a match that we would need to know about. No one's watching this Svitolina match right now, so would appreciate updates. Is she looking like serving this out? How many matches are you watching, by the way, Shauna? Actually, I wish I could watch more than one, but unfortunately, my TV subscription does not allow me to do that. It's not like Wimbledon where I could literally watch every single match if I had 20 screens if I wanted. Sadly, I would need to pay a lot of money to let me do that for this one. Oh, yeah, Casper Ruud is probably underway now against Bianchike, so maybe I need to refresh my scores so I can see what's happening there because I haven't included that. Yeah, 15-all, by the way. Doesn't look like it's an easy service game for Zheng Qinwen so far. Great return. Oh, huge return for Anisimova because of the net post and bounces on her side. And it's 15-all. Oh, and I've lost my scores. That's annoying. Still plenty of great matches to come, by the way. And by the way, if you're interested, John is covering the Shelton team match on another stream. But please stick with me and keep me company if you so wish. It's 4 games all between Vekic and Birol. Birol has once again broken back in the second set, and suddenly this second set between those two players has become a break fest. Backhand wayward from Zheng Qinwen into the tram line, 30-all. Anisimova looking to pull off the comeback. Wang Zhu has broken in the second set against Diane Parry. It's 3-1 there. Wang is a set down, of course. In the men's side, I'm just checking to see what's happening there. Is Ugo and Bear got a second set yet? Oof. Zheng Qinwen benefits from Anisimova just missing that shot. It's 40-30. Jan Huynski's got breakback point against Carbaj's Baena. That's interesting. First serve long from Zheng Qinwen. I'm not getting the rude match on my scores. I don't know whether they've started or not. It seems to have been delayed. Maybe the players weren't ready. Oh, huge return for Anisimova. Force of the arrow from Zheng. It's deuce. This set's not... Zheng doesn't have this set yet. This is actually getting quite competitive. Brazy, what makes you think that Biancheke can upset Rude? Zheng's abandoned the ball toss. Berrettini and Ramos Vinolas have just got underway on court 7. Literally the first game, and Berrettini is going to serve to serving at 40 love. Ugo and Bears now take a 2 sets love lead against Tiago Montero. Deuce, second serve. We're still waiting for Zheng to deliver a second serve. I mean, she knows she's got to watch out for the return. She's abandoning it, and suddenly we've got some service yips for Zheng Qinwen. Now she serves that wide. Oh, what an ace from Zheng. High risk, but she pulls it off, and it's advantage to the Chinese player. This is a really competitive match now. It does feel like the match is sort of stabilized, and it's getting quite good. I mean, it was good anyway. Carl has broken Svitolina. She's got one of the breaks back, 3-5. Clearly, Svitolina not feeling good out there. First serve into the net from Zheng Qinwen. Down to a rally. Forehand from Zheng. Up the line. Backhand cross court from Anisimova. That's a dangerous shot for her as she forces Zheng to loop it. Now she's bringing Zheng under a lot of pressure again. Slices that backhand, puts it in the net. And game Zheng, who is going to be now... who is now going to be 1 game away from the second set at 5-3. Schwarn is saying that Svitolina is looking desperate. Is she looking desperate because she's injured? Trying to get the second set against Carl? Trying to play through pain? Just looking around and seeing what's happening. We're into a tie break between Marta and Zverev in the second set on grandstand. And Carbaj's Baena is now 2 sets to love against Huynski. The qualifier end of the road might be coming for Jan Huynski. I thought that would be a winnable match for him, but he's going to have to do it the hard way if he is. Eric Andreeva looks like she's in a real battle there. Yeah, Sean is saying she thinks Svitolina is playing with pain. Doesn't look good for a long-term prospect. And I think Coco Gauff might be happy to see that, even if Svitolina does get to the third round, she might be compromised. Oh, let cord for Zheng, who's trying to go for an up-the-line winner. That gives Anisimova an up in the point and able to put the point away. Zheng could not control that shot. It's 15 love. Parry's got a break back against Wang Zhu. That's good to see. Vekic has now broken Birol for the 3rd time this set. Bearing in mind, Birol keeps breaking her back. Vekic is now going to serve for the match at 6-4, 5-4 to be the 3rd woman into the next round of the US Open. Unreturnable serve from Anisimova, 30 love. Plenty going on across the board here. Huge forehand from Zheng on the attack. Slice from Anisimova. Backhand cross court from Zheng is good. That's a great backhand winner from Zheng, and it's 30-15. Ghost update from Ghosty. Apparently, Bublik has a double break opportunity coming up on court 11. Okay, not an opportunity for a double break, but he has 2 break points. 40-15, Anisimova. She's going to try and put some pressure on Qinwen. And this is now giving me hope that this third set's going to be competitive, that Zheng isn't going to run away with this. The momentum seems to have been stabilized because Zheng did have quite a lot of it. Backhand Zheng under pressure, really short. Slice from drop shot from Anisimova. Zheng's going to pick it up off the line. Way too exposed from Anisimova. It's 40-30. Didn't handle that short ball well from Zheng. Still going with serve between Charlton and Team. Yep, no, Dave. Yep, absolutely. There's keeping an eye on the scores in this Zverev tie break. Amanda peppering Zheng at the minute and gets the game with some heavy forehands, and it is and now Zheng's going to have to serve this out at 5-4. Lots of drama, but Bublik breaks Jerry Shang for a break lead in the third set. Those of you who are watching Bublik Shang, do you think that one's going to go 5? Say if Bublik gets this third set, is Shang going to then get the fourth and make it an epic? Ghosty asking me about Erica Andreeva. Am I surprised? A little bit. I mean, when I checked the live rankings and saw she was broken top 100 recently, I probably shouldn't have been. But she's been very under the radar recently. And then that Collins win impressed me. And I wasn't sure how she was going to do in this opener against One Way. Like, that one could have gone either way. But yeah, pleased for her. But little surprise. It does feel like it's coming a little bit out of nowhere. But, or at least, like, breaking through at the biggest stage a little bit out of nowhere. Dave agreeing with me that Bublik's going 5. We've got match points for Donna Vekic. 6-4, 5-4, 40 love. And she's got the job done. 6-4, 6-4 against Kimberly Birrell. So Donna Vekic is the third woman through to the US Open second round, following Wang Yifeng and Daria Kasatkina. Svitolina's got the second set as well. She's broken Maria Karl 5-3. So we're into a decider. Can Svitolina last this match? Can she last out this deciding set physically? We know she's struggling. Lots of really good matches going on at the minute. Like we are spoiled for choice. And I really wish I had like a wall with a load of screens on it that I could see everything that was happening. Obviously, you want to pay attention to one match on a big screen. But it would give me a sense of where all the drama was. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, Ghosty, or whether you're actually watching, but Donna Vekic is an emotional player, so it wouldn't surprise me. Backhand in play from Anisimova off his second serve. Backhand looped up as Zheng goes long. Love 15. Anisimova looking to break back here. Zheng's trying to serve this set out. So I was saying that Svitolina played really aggressively to close out the second set. I'm not surprised, especially if you're injured. Playing more aggressively would make sense to try and keep points short. As Anisimova nets again, running down a short ball from Zheng. She's hitting a lot of unforced errors off short balls. She needs to be playing those. It's not really paying off for her. Pam effect for Donna Vekic. I mean, yeah, she's had Pam as a coach for a while. I did interview Pam last year after Wimbledon, and that partnership, when that partnership was taking off, but sort of in the year between Wimbledons, Vekic seemed to have gone off the radar a bit. So, yeah, I'm glad that she's feeling confident and happy again because, yeah, she's doing well. Obviously, that Wimbledon semi-final, Olympic final, this has now turned into a great season for Donna Vekic. And she is through. 30-15, Zheng Qinwen, 2 points away from evening this out into a deciding set. She's missed the first serve. And it's an unreturnable second serve from Zheng Qinwen to get to 40-15. So 2 set points for Zheng Qinwen to get us to a third set of what's been quite a competitive match, filled with some stunning hitting from both. Great serve from Zheng Qinwen. Oh no, she's just missed it. Never mind. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, Dave, you are definitely very annoyed by sort of the unusual service toss from Zheng Qinwen. It's just so wide. She's missed the first serve, so obviously it was let previously. No, either way doesn't count. I mean, which do you find more egregious, Dave? The hitch in the Zheng toss or the hitch in the Rybakina toss? Oh, Zheng's abandoning the ball toss on the second serve. A little bit of nerves creeping in. Great second serve. Backhand from Zheng. Oh! The return from Anisimova was on the baseline, and Zheng had no hope there. 40-30, first set point saved by Amanda Anisimova. Oh, update from Brazy. Rude is already a breakdown in the first set. And it's an unreturnable serve from Zheng Qinwen. You may not like the hitch in it, but it's very effective when she needs it to be. She gets the job done. We're going the distance on Louis Armstrong Arena. Second set, 6-4 to Zheng Qinwen. Amanda Anisimova got the first by the same scoreline. It is this close. And Zheng is now going off court. She's got her bag. She's going off court. She's talking with the umpire. She's taking off fluids. I can't tell if Anisimova is going off court or not. Zheng definitely is. So if anyone says that they don't know much about a player, chances are they are grinding it on challenges. Amanda Anisimova is staying on court. So she's not going off, but Zheng is. Yeah, Anisimova does need to lock it down, Dave. But I think I'm seeing tennis from her towards the end of this set that was giving me hope. I wasn't feeling confident about it sort of early in the second set when she got broken. Right, let's do a scores update. So Erica Andreeva is serving at 5-6 in the second, having won the first 6-3 against One Way, trying to get the second set to a tiebreak. Elina Svitolina has won her opening service game in the deciding set against Maria Karl. Daniela Stremska's got 3 break points against Hule Niemeyer to take a break advantage in the second set, which would put her at 5-3 and potential to level the match at a set all. Niemeyer got the first set 6-4. It's 4 games all between Diane Parry and Won Jiu in what is a very competitive match, despite the scoreline. That's all the women's matches. In the men's, I've lost track of the Zverev tiebreak. Marta got it, 7-5. We're a set all between Marta and Zverev. Once again, Zverev continued to leak sets. It is going with serve at 2 games all between Ramos Vinolas and Matteo Berrettini. And Dominic Thiem is serving at deuce 4-5 against Ben Shelton. You can hear about that on another stream. Ben Shelton actually has a set point. Bublik is at 4-3, 40-30 in the third set all. Humbert has actually got points for a double break by 2 sets to lead by 2 sets and 2 breaks against Thiago Monteiro. It's 5 games all in the second set between Luca Nardi and Roberto Bautista Agut. Bautista Agut set up. Amanda Anisimova is receiving a medical timeout on her foot. By the way, might be some kind of blister. We know she was dealing with I think she had a blister problem in Toronto against Navarro. It did hamper her a little bit in the second set before she got back together and won the match. Kruger's leveled against Grenier, set all, and Stricker Komasana is going with serve in the third. Stricker leading, and that match is a set all. You are now up to date. And of course, Boo is up break against Casper Ruud. Yeah, I was going to say, Boo is Chinese. Hello, Hedgehog. Lovely to see you. So what's happened to Sakari? So Sakari was Sakari retired. I don't know what the issue was. No one was watching that match. If anyone does know why Sakari retired, can you let us know? Because that would be sort of great information. If someone could check Twitter real quick, that would be great. But yeah, Sakari retired after losing the first set 6-2. Meanwhile, let's have a look and see what else is going on. So Yastremska is serving for the second set, but she's at 15-30. She's got to fight her way through. Parry is serving, staying in the second set in her match against Wong. That's Wang Xiu, of course. Yeah, Anisimova's getting her foot strapped up. I don't think it's blisters. I think it's some kind of strap going. It could be blisters. I'm not sure. But she's definitely getting it very strapped. Ben Shelton's taken the first set against Dominic Thiem, 6-4. Kabas Bayern is now a set and a break, 2 sets and a break up against Jan Huinski. Montero seems to be avoiding going double break down there. His third set against Hugo Humbert. But yeah, it's not looking good for the Huinski, who did qualify in an epic way. But looks like he's not going to survive into the next round. Obviously, we've still yet to get our first men's result, first men's singles winner. It's currently a race between Hugo Humbert and Roberto Caballez Baena to see who can get the job done quickest. Very similar scores, 2 sets, 2-1 with a break. Zheng is coming back on court, but obviously Anisimova's medical timeout isn't done yet either, so it doesn't matter too much with this toilet break. They're both taking... Oh yeah, they're both taking as much time as they need, really. No rush, no gamesmanship here. They both needed to do what they needed to do. Brazy saying that Shang is taking a medical timeout. Obviously, we haven't had an update from that match for a while, so appreciate that, Brazy. Thank you. Ghosty telling us it's a right shoulder injury for Maria Sakkari, so thanks for the update there. Someone's getting a timeout anyway in that match. Ghosty asked about the temperatures in New York. I don't know. It's one of those things they don't put on court in full view. Sadly. Excuse me for yawning there, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, looking around, we're not quite there yet in terms of any further updates. We're into a second set tiebreak between Eric Andreeva and Wan Wei. That's worth keeping an eye on. He's having a little bit of trouble serving at the second set against Hule Niemeyer. Diane Parry and Wang Jiu. That looks like being another really close set. But yeah, I think Erika Andreeva. 83 Fahrenheit in New York. There you go. What is going on? All right. Zheng Qinwen, first point on the board, love 15. But Anisimova, the next return is long, so it's 15 all. You should see how competitive this match is going to be. I just want to see what 83 Fahrenheit is. Got 400 return from Zheng. Now under pressure from a 400 Anisimova, who then attacks again, but she's missed it over the baseline, 1530. Oof, that's hot in New York, 28 degrees Celsius. Got up to that battle a couple of times in the UK early this month, but we didn't quite have the humidity that New York does, which does feel somewhat painful. 52%, 1530. Long from Anisimova on that serve. Not ideal for her. Oh, I've lost my stream. Sorry, guys, I've lost my stream. 2 seconds. I need to fix it. Technical difficulties, please stand by. Shouldn't be take me too long to fix it. We'll be back up and running in a minute. There we go. I've got it back, and it looks like that Zheng Qinwen has broken already. She has broken to 15. It is 1 game to love. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the sock thing there, Dave. Not something I have much of it. I would imagine you'd have more expertise on that than I would. Oh, okay. Nima's broken back as she's trying to go trying to serve out the second set. So still got to stay in the set, but still 4-5. Svitolina holding off Maria Karl still on court 5. Are we any closer to a result? Not on the men's singles, not yet. Not yet. Erika Andreeva might be the 4th player about to go through. Zheng Qinwen has got the opening point in her service game, 15 love. It does feel like she has the slight momentum here. Does seem to have figured out Anisimova. Anisimova's rocket returns are just not happening the same way anymore, but Zheng's got a second serve to give her. Five all now on court 8 between Andreeva and Yuan. Backhand. Long on the return. No, it was right on the baseline, and then Andreeva's pushing Zheng back. Now she's still trying to put Zheng under pressure. Great slice from Zheng to keep herself in the point. The counter slice from Anisimova ends up in the net, and Anisimova drops her racket and twists her wrist. She's feeling pain in her hand. She shakes it off. Maybe she didn't make contact right. She seemed to be stretching her hand a bit after the contact. Yeah, really went for the backhand. Oh, and then, yeah, so big backhand, waves the right hand, again, slices, and then is not feeling good. Anisimova is in pain right now. Her hand or her wrist is not in a good place. Looks like Jerry Shang needs some physio work as well. Obviously, Anisimova did have a medical timeout for the foot. $30 love. Is Anisimova struggling physically with the demands of playing Zheng Qinwen? Huge backhand winner from her suggests not. 30-15. We are at 6 points all between Andreeva and Yuan. This is going to be a dramatic end on court 8. I'm not sure who had set point or match point. I wasn't watching. There was either a match point saved or a set point saved. I'm going to keep an eye on the Court 8 score and the Zheng Qinwen match. Unreturnable serve from Zheng, 40-15. She does feel like she's starting to really assert herself in this match. Fast serve into the net. Still under a little bit of pressure to deliver on the first serves is the Chinese player. Second serve is good from Zheng. It's too tricky for Anisimova to pick up. It was well out wide, and it's game Zheng Qinwen. 2 games to love lead in this deciding set. Yue Wei has a 7-6 lead in the tiebreak. She has a set point against Erika Andreeva to take it to a decider. Drama everywhere at the minute. Svitolina is trying to carve a break advantage in the deciding set as well. Andreeva saves set point. Erika, that is not mirror. 7-all in that tiebreak. Andreeva is serving now. So it was obviously saving on her serve. Backhand into the net from Anisimova on the attack. Love 15. First serve delivery is good from Anisimova, then follows up with a bullet forehand. Zheng is doing her best to get back in court. Anisimova comes in to slice the forehand, leaves the gap open for Zheng to pass her up the line there with the forehand. Love 30. Match point for Erika Andreeva, 8-7, but it's on the one-way serve. Oh, that was not an ace, unfortunately, from Anisimova, who's just missed it. Second serve at love 30. Short second serve. Zheng Qinwen runs around to hit the forehand return. Now she's teeing up another forehand to the forehand of Anisimova, who just clears the net. And Zheng Qinwen misdirects the forehand into the tram line, and it's 15-30. Haven't seen Anisimova flexing her hand since that incident. Nice to see you, Ghosty. Hoping everything's okay. Backhand from Anisimova. Backhand up the line. Oh, again from Anisimova. Under pressure from a deep backhand from Zheng, who's got 15-40 for 2 break points to establish a double break advantage in this deciding set. What can Anisimova do? She's avoided the double break a lot in that last set. First serve is long. Update from Schwarner. Erika Andreeva has won 9-7 in that tiebreak. Thank you, Schwarner. So Erika Andreeva is through to the second round of the US Open. She's the 4th player to win a match today. Forehand long up the line from Anisimova. And there we go. It's a double break for Zheng Qinwen, 3-love. So yeah, so players through to the next round: Wang Yifan, Daria Kasatkina, Donna Vekic, and Erika Andreeva. Not Mira, she's playing tomorrow. Great result there for Erika Andreeva, continuing her very impressive form as of late. What else is going on? It's 30-all between Parry and Wang at 5-6. Parry serving. Wang potentially 2 points away from leveling that match. Hule Nima's got break points at 5-all to potentially try and serve the match out. It's 2 games all between Svitolina and Karl. Svitolina cannot break in this deciding set. What about in the men's game? Ruud has broken back against Bu and is now leading 3-2 on serve. Shelton is leading a set and a break. Dominant team by set and a break. It's going with serve early in the third between Marta and Zverev, 1-set-all. Zheng has got it back, is trying to get it back on serve. Bublik is serving at 5-4, and Zheng has got break back points. And Bear still serving at 2 sets and a break. Hoinski's broken back against Karpai's Baena. So that match is still going on court 16. We're into a second set tiebreak between Nardi and Bautista Agut. Bautista leading by a set to love. Dominic Stricker is up a break in the third against Comisano. It's 1-set-all there. It's 1-set-all between Grenier and Kruger. Meanwhile, on court 12, Alexei Popirin has got his US Open campaign underway. It's 1 game more between him and Soonwoo Kwon. Now, Zheng Qinwen is on 12 of the last 15 points. She's definitely taken control of this match. First serve into the net to start off with. Hopefully, I'm keeping you guys up to date. Just let me know anything from your matches if you want to keep me up to date with anything, or keep us up to date with anything. If there's any questions you want me to answer, more than happy to do that. But yeah, looks like Jerry Shang, despite having the physio out, is still trying to extend this, although it looks like Bublik's now got set point for a 2-1 lead. Oh, what's happened to Dominic Thiem? Is Dominic Thiem retired again? Oh no, he's a set and a break down, but first serve from Zheng is too good, and love 15. Oh, no, love 30. Sorry, it's a double fault. This is me not paying attention. I'm paying attention to the chat and the scores. Love 30. Anisimova was trying to get one of his breaks back. Is Dominic Thiem struggling against Ben Shelton? John is watching it on the other stream. What brand of racket do I use? I use a Prince racket. I've had that racket since I was 17. I don't see the need to change it. I don't know what I'd change it to be honest. But I know Prince is no more. Another bad ball toss from Zheng Qinwen. Feeling a little bit of pressure. Oh, looks like Zverev has broken in the third. Oh, great return again from Anisimova. Zheng can't do anything about it. It's love 40. So one of these breaks, a break back is possible for Amanda Anisimova. It would be one break, but it would make this third set semi-competitive and throw a little bit of doubt as to the outcome of this match. Forehand cross court from Zheng to the forehand of Anisimova. Zheng tries to redirect, puts it in the tram line off a net cord, and Anisimova breaks to love. It's 3-1. We also have a second set tiebreak between Parry and Wong. Parry won the first set on the tiebreak. Let's see how competitive that is. And Hule Niemeyer is serving at 6-5 for the match against Diana Yastremska to upset the number 32 seed, although maybe not an upset given Hule Niemeyer did get to the US Open 4th round a couple of years ago and took a set off Iga Swiatek. What kind of person is a Dunlop kind of guy, Brazy? First serve into the forehand into the net for Anisimova. Love 15. She needs to make most of this momentum. I mean, it was helpful that the guy who was coaching me when I was sort of 15 to 19, he was kind of a Prince specialist, a Prince rep. So he got me some nice discounts on Prince rackets. But yeah, no, it's fair. Yeah, Dunlop is a popular British brand. Although you do see people using a lot of head rackets, partly because of Andy Murray. And Wilson as well. Wilson's quite popular over here. Into that forehand return is well out from Zheng, 15-all. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think the racket I've got, I like because I've only had it restrung once actually. I should probably do it again, but like I tend to use but like I need something to kind of a racket more built for control than power, because I produce a lot of natural power anyway. I tend to have a very fast swing. So I need my racket to kind of compensate for that, because I can't really change how I'm instinctively swinging. 30-15. Backhand up the back. Great backhand return from Zheng. Anisimova somehow gets to it. Great rally again. Back forehand off the top of the net from Anisimova, but still deep. Great rally for these two. Oh, what a beautiful angle from Anisimova. What a rally. That should be a highlight reel. Both of them really going for it. What a redirect for Anisimova to get to 40-15. I mean, Dave, I keep testing the strings and it still feels all right. I just don't play that often. Like, there's still, like, I've tested it out. It still feels all right. Maybe I need to get someone else to play with it and then tell me how it feels. Short second serve from Anisimova, then goes for the backhand cross court. Backhand from Zheng. Redirected wide. But I think Anisimova's backhand was over the baseline, according to electronic line calling. And Zheng's shot was right on the line anyway, so doesn't matter either way. She's got the point, 40-30. First serve into the net for Anisimova. Still under pressure for the comeback. Oh, forehand cross court, forehand Zheng, forehand cross court to cross court. Into the net from Zheng. That's enough for Anisimova to hold. And she's got a big smile on her face after that. It's her first hold for a while. It's 2-3. She's reduced the deficit to 1 break. Dave, what happens if I play twice a week for a month, then take 2 weeks off, then play once a week for a month, take a month off, and then, yeah, you get the point. Like, I'm probably not going to, like, I'm probably going to play until October, and then I'm not going to play for the entire winter because there's nowhere indoors or that has floodlights apart from like one location where you can play around here during the winter. Hi, Jake. Always good to see you. Are you coming off a night shift? Cedric, which are you talking about Nick Kyrgios or are you talking about someone else? Let's see what's happening. So Niemai did not serve that match out, and they're into a second set tiebreak with Daniela Yastremska. She's in a second set tiebreak with Daniela Yastremska. Svitolina has the break against Maria Karl, 4-2, 40-15. So she might escape the trap. It's 4 points all between Parry and Wong in the second set tiebreak that they're doing. So we might get some results coming in thick and fast. I'll quickly check the men's singles on this change of ends. It's 3 games all between Ruud and Bu, but I think Ruud's going to hold to love here. Berrettini and Ramos Fernandez also going to serve 4-all. Zverev leading 4-1 in the third 1 set all. As I said, set and a break advantage for Ben Shelton against Dominic Thiem. Shang did break back. It's 5 games all with Bublik, but Bublik looks like he's got break point again. And Bear's taking a while to finish this match off with Thiago Monteiro. It's 4 games all between Huitsky and Caballez in the third set. Caballez by any leads 2-love. Bautista Agut's just taken a 2-love lead against Luca Nardi, thanks to a tiebreak win there. Comisano's got it back on serve in the third 1 set all with Dominic Stricker. And it's going with serve between Popper and Kwon and in the opening set. And Grenier and Kruger also going with serve in this third set. Well out of court from Amanda Anisimova there. Thank you so much, Lukey. I don't think I am the best host, but appreciate it. Well, we'll try and keep you updated as much as Jake is. Oh, right. Sorry, Cedric. I get you now. Hello. Yeah. a bit tough. Yeah, Brazier. Like, how's Casper looking? Is he looking a bit more confident now after Boo kind of shocked him early on? 30 love for Zheng in this service game, by the way. Svitolina's one game away from the match against Carla after a bit of a scare. It has to be said, after going a set down and having a medical timeout. We're trying to serve out the second set. Sort of close opener, got to 2-all. Svitolina hoping to finish off, but Carl will be serving at 2-5. Overhead from Zheng. Forehand redirected, but right into hand, strike zone, forehand. Now forehand inside up from Anisimova, who then tries to redirect, but Zheng's ball is long, I believe. Yes, it was. It did look long. So 30-15. Anisimova still making this good. 10-shot rally. Still some competitiveness in there. We have match point for Diane Parry. She's going to be serving at 7-6, 6-all, 6 points to 5 in the tiebreak. Diane Parry, in what I didn't expect it to come through, but she does. 7-6, 7-6 against Wang Xiu. I thought Wang Xiu was looking pretty good going into this, but Parry had other ideas and showing that she's still dangerous in Grand Slams. Wonderful player, Parry. I'm glad I get another opportunity to watch her. Go. Diane Parry, the 5th player to make it through. Winner from Zheng Qinwen on the forehand for 40-15. And Diana Yastremska has 4 set points to level up with Hule Niemeyer, who did serve for the match at 6-5. I think Yastremska also did serve for the set earlier on at 5-3 or something like that. Yeah, it was 5-3. So that match has been quite dramatic. Ace from Zheng to close out the game. 4-2 in this deciding set with Amanda Anisimova. Yeah, okay, so Casper Ruud is looking settled. Thanks, Brazy. Yes, Svitolina had a medical timeout. Thanks, Shwana. Yes, Yastremska has taken it to Iana set all. Yeah, so Jake, medical timeout for Svitolina. I think it was her shoulder. Oh, no, that was Sakari. Sakari retired with a right shoulder injury. Nerlan, what did Sakari have to get out of the top 10? Lose matches. Pretty much. Like, that's how you lose the top 10. You lose matches and consistently lose them as well. But she's got some big points that are helping her out a little bit. That's sort of keeping her up there. I think, let's see if how consistent she is up until Indian Wells 2025. Oh, Amanda's trying to take on that short ball from Zheng, but just dumps it in the net. Love 15. But yeah, Svitolina, medical timeout. Can't remember what it was for, but not ideal start for her campaign, even if she is through. Or she was hoping to get through. I don't think she's through yet. She's not. Carl held for 3-5, so Svitolina is now serving 5-3 to try and be the... who's gone through already? Wang Yifan, Daria Kasatkina, Daria Kasatkina is also through, and then you've also got Diane Parry and Erika Andreeva is through as well. So yeah, and Donna Vekic is through. So yes, Svitolina having to be the 6th player to go through today. Great rally going on as Anisimova hits the line, moving Zheng from side to side, eventually getting that point. It's 15-30. So Anisimova again in trouble on serve, and she has been struggling a little bit on and off on serve. It's a good question, Nerlan, actually. We might need to break this down. Okay, so Bublik has got the 3rd set. Thanks, Brazy. So I know that Bublik got broken back by Shang, so obviously Bublik's just established himself back in the match there. Backhand into the net from Zheng, a little bit limply from the Anisimova. It was a good rally, though, but I thought it would be a tempo that Zheng could cope with. We're at 30-all. So, well, don't say you were wrong, Brazy, because Zheng could still still get the fourth. But if he's struggling physically, that might be a problem. That being said, Humbert is going to be serving for the match to be the first male player to win a match today against Thiago Monteiro. Forehand to forehand rally again. Now a backhand from Zheng cross court. Backhand Anisimova cross court. Long. 30-40. Break point chance for Zheng Qinwen. $30-40. Yeah, I agree, Brazy. Zheng is super talented, and I'm very excited to see what he does, and hopefully he gets less injured less often as he gets older. He is still 19. He's still developing. It's not surprising he's getting injured at this point in his career. $30-40. Zheng takes on the return. Now forehand from Anisimova up the line. Zheng gets it. Still peppering side to side. Zheng shanks it. Deuce. It feels very like the end of the second set as well, where Anisimova was fending off Zheng as much as she could. But she's really got to get more into Zheng's service games. Because she was, to start this match off, when she raced to a 5-1 lead. And it's been all Zheng Qinwen since. And Anisimova's just been fighting to keep up. Short return from Zheng. Backhand cross-court from Anisimova. Slice from Zheng. Just clears the net. Another slice from Zheng Anisimova up the line. Forehand cross-court from Zheng. And the forehand from Anisimova is well out. Advantage again to Zheng for another break point. Another break point. Let's see if Elina Svitolina is getting the job done. That's the wrong day. Another advantage for it as Svitolina is broken serving for the match by Maria Karl. She'll be serving at 4-5. So drama on court 5. Svitolina fails to serve the match out. Net cord from Anisimova mid-rally. Now she's got a forehand into the net. Zheng breaks again, restores the double break advantage for 5-2, and she'll come out to serve for this match against Amanda Anisimova. Switch that back into the men's. Really close set between Anisimova and Berrettini, by the way. Anisimova serving to try and take this to a tie break. Humbert 2 points away from finishing his match off. Let's see what you guys in the chat are saying. Okay, so both players are off court. Thanks, Brazy, in the Zheng Bublik match, which seems to be one of the matches to watch at the minute. I don't think they have a heat rule in New York City. It's definitely not warm enough for one, though. Like, given the temperatures we were just told about, I think it has to be much hotter before we get a heat rule. Zheng's being brought up a special sort of bottle thing. She's not drinking it yet. Puts her bottle of water down, spills it. All the drama at this change of ends. She might get nervous, Dave. It's a possibility. Svitolina now has 3 match points against Maria Karl. Love 40 on the Karl serve. So we might have a result to bring you from court 5 in about a minute or so. Monteiro has break back point against Humbert, who's trying to serve this match out. It's been 2.5 hours and we haven't had a men's singles result yet. This is interesting. It's usually, I would expect to be like half an hour ago we'd start to get a sort of men's singles result. Karl saves the first match point. Who's going to close first, Svitolina or Zheng? Or maybe neither of them will. First serve from Zheng is wide. Looks like Yima and Yastremska are taking an extended break ahead of their deciding set. Backhander inside out, return from Anisimova on the attack. Now goes cross court with the backhand. Huge. Zheng's scrambling for it. Anisimova takes the forehand out of the air. Now does a drop shot, which is too good. Love 15. Great first point from Anisimova. Another match point saved by Maria Karl on court 5. Nerlan, Eric Andreeva, underrated. Yes and no, I'd say. Second serve coming up for Zheng Qinwen, by the way. First went into the net. Yes, I think she is talented, and I think she is overshadowed a bit by her sister. But no, because her own results need to speak for themselves. It's only recently that her results have kind of picked up to the point where they would be noticeable. But she's back in the top 100. She's got that Danielle Collins win. Maybe people will take her a bit more seriously. A drop shot attempt from Anisimova has gone into the net, so it's 15 all. Looks like Anisimova feeling like the drop shot might be her best course of action just to mix things up late in the day. But yeah, I agree with you, Dave. Erica needs more results in bigger tournaments. At the minute, we're just not seeing those. So yes, she's overshadowed by her sister. No, I don't think her results are good enough to say that she's underrated. Anisimova trying to go toe-to-toe on the forehand with Zheng. It's a great angle from Zheng that she's produced. Moonball for Anisimova. And Zheng hits the forehand inside out, open court, 30-15. She's 2 points away from the win. Svitolina's got the job done against Maria Karl. She is through into the next round. 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. A little bit rocky, though. Svitolina maybe not on solid ground. And Coco Gauff fans might be breathing a sigh of relief. We'll have to see what happens if they do actually meet in the third round. Might be getting some matches wrapping up in quick succession. We're into a first set tiebreak between Berrettini and Barros Vinolas on court 7. Zverev has set points for 2-1 lead. And Hugo Humbert is the first man into the next round of the US Open. He's beaten Thiago Monteiro 6-3, 6-4, 6-4. He's got the job done on court 10. Can Zheng Qinwen be the seventh or eighth woman through? She's got 40-15, match point. Abandons the ball toss. She's been doing that quite a bit today. First serve out wide. It's an ace. It's not quite an ace, but it's unreturnable. It hits the line. Anisimova has no hope of getting it back, even if she did get a racket on it. And Zheng Qinwen is through. Anisimova gave her a bit of a scare at first, but once she settled to the match, Zheng was impressive. And Amanda, she just couldn't sustain the firepower that she was producing for that opening set. Zheng Qinwen is through, and the score is 4-6, 6-4, 6-2. Not a classic, but good quality matches, and I've enjoyed a lot of the rallies. Like, this was an example of what happens when you've got some big but stable ball striking, and they're able to go toe-to-toe. It was a very watchable match. I enjoyed it. I hope you all did too. Is Zheng serving more stable these days? Yeah, I'd say so, actually. She's definitely a lot more confident. Definitely a lot more confident. So yeah, Zheng Qinwen is through and keeps my pride and my power rankings still alive. But still a tough battle with going on. And John is here. John, what are you doing? You should be on the other stream.
I'm on both streams. I'm just coming to say just click end stream whenever you.
I was going to do that. I was about to tell people to go and join you on Shelton versus Team.
They will, but also there's a thing on YouTube that they've set up now, which is where you can redirect. In other words, that means as soon as this stream ends, people then get sent over.
Okay.
Yeah. Brazy here saying I'm in 2 places at once. Magic.
Yeah. Are you following John are you following both Talking Tennis streams, Brazy? Because that's dedication. All right. Well, in which case, I'm not going to beat about the bush. If everyone's automatically going to go over to the other stream, I'm going to end this stream here then, and you guys can go and talk to John about what's going on with Dominic Thiem and Ben Shelton and all the other tennis that's going on around the grounds. And yeah, good grief, Brazy, how do you cope with all the constant commentary from both? Well, I'm going to put you out of your misery, and I'm going to give you only one commentary to listen to. But I hope you've enjoyed this opening US Open first couple of hours with me. We'll let John take you through the next lot. been absolutely brilliant to spend time with all of you, like Brazy, Dave, Schwarner, Nerlan, Sean, and Jake, and everyone who's been bringing us updates. So thanks for the new subscribers as well, everyone. And yeah, I'll see you on another stream soon. Take care, everyone. Go talk some tennis on the other stream.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.